My name is Erica Lorraine Spencer, and I remain subject to state surveillance and terrorism by the state of California that is operating a malicious targeting system which is referred to as federal group stalking and monitoring via communication devices. And it is in violation of federal stalking statute 18 U.S.C. sections 2261A subsections 1 and 2. My website and podcast serve the public good by publishing evidence of the public entity's ceaseless engagement in a pattern of conduct intended to stalk and monitor via communication devices, surveil, harass, and terrorize an American citizen in concert with the people of the state of California. Documentation serves the lawful purposes of wide exposure, federal prosecution, and influencing federal legislation with policies specifically designed to punish, dismantle, and disincentivize an unprecedented targeting system by a public entity that acts in concert with the people of the state in order to criminally place under surveillance and terrorize an American citizen, which is a matter of public corruption in the state of California. See thepatternofconduct.wordpress.com. (3:50 a.m.) This is audible activity that is maintained in the same exact specific environment. This is audible activity that is contributing to the maintenance of an environment conducive for what is criminal monitoring, and that is by the Ontario Police Department. And this is the state acting directly. You're going to pay attention to the series of videos that I've captured. As I have explained from the outset, this is not just criminal. It is the criminalization of demonic activity. And particularly, they're going to pay attention to what is the demonic aspect with regard to what is my documentation. You're witnessing that demonic activity as I'm showing you both the people of the state and the Ontario Police Department engaging in heavy-duty demonic activity, all right? And it is that which you are witnessing in the light activity, and it's that which is characterized through the stalking conduct of the police and the entity by helicopter, okay? This is spiritual darkness that is being portrayed as you are witnessing their stalking conduct. And this is also, again, the more that the entity is documented, the more that it is, again, shown to be the criminal that it is, and not just the fact that it's a criminal, that it is of Satan, the more that that reality demonstrates itself. And that's what you're looking at in the videos and in my documentation that I published with regard to both the people of the state, and the government that's acting directly. And again, I'm in Ontario right now, but I mean, I'm capturing this when I'm in Fontana. I'm capturing this when I'm in the DMV in Rancho Cucamonga. But like I stated, I made specific points last night, which was Saturday, April 9th. It's currently April 10th, and the entity engaging at 3:45 in the morning. I'm showing you what is the entity that is engaging in stalking. Satan is not taking a nap. Satan does not stop. Satan is, again, brewing upon, and I'm just relaying to you what is the reality of demonic conduct and what is ongoing satanic hostility to what is published on the internet about an entity that's engaging in criminal activity and engaging in what is the pattern of conduct while demonstrating a threat and hostility. And that is being demonstrated by the Ontario Police Department. These are demons who are engaging in what are the criminal elements of monitoring. They are engaged in the pattern of conduct. They are stalking and monitoring, but this is satanic while you're witnessing that. And this is shown in the videos that I'm capturing, both as the state acts directly by the Ontario Police and vicariously through the people of the state. Okay, and I want to point that out to you, and you'll see that in my documentation that I published upon my return to Ontario yesterday in the evening. And I'm capturing a series of videos of the stalking activity of the Ontario Police, and I'm making several points while I'm capturing that. It's the reality. This is demonic activity. I am revealing what is no longer concealed, the demon possession of the of the population in California, but also the criminalization of that demonic activity that this entity is engaging in. It's in violation of federal law, and it's also at the same time demonic activity, which is entirely relevant for what is a prosecution for terrorism, which is exactly what I'm capturing while I'm showing you these heavily drenched in what is entirely demonic. You see it through the light activity while the people of the state are pacing around me at the museum. They're repeatedly returning, engaging in what is monitoring me, communicating a threat. They're engaging in what is stalking, and the entity engages in this increased hostility. The more that I document, the more that I reveal about Satan, the more that the entity engages in that stalking activity. And this is also shown through the very criminal activity by the entity that's stalking by helicopter, soaring all around me by helicopter, amplifying it extraordinarily loud, sounding and surrounding with the sound of sirens incessantly. I captured this on video, and the entity is doing it in what is directed light. The entity is doing it in concert with the people of the state, already shown to be the demon-possessed population that they are, as I've shown you directed light, literally in every scenario and circumstance that you can fathom, showing what is an entire system, irrespective of specific identity, regardless, and outside of any exclusion. There is no exclusion. It's at all times and at all places. And that's what I've shown with regard to the people of the state. And this is the entity of the Ontario Police Department that are demonstrating that as well, which I've already captured. But like I said, what I captured as of late last night, and right now, as of there was another video that I just captured right now at approximately 3:45 a.m. And again, right now is Sunday, April 10, 2022. I'm just giving you this note because with regard to what is documentation that I'm publishing, I will be publishing with regard to the Ontario Police Department in particular. Now, this is conduct on behalf of the entity. I'm capturing what are specifically the demons of the Ontario Police Department. The demons that are of the same exact demon possession in Fontana. It's just going under a different name, the Fontana Police Department. This is demon possession. Satan equally engaging in what is the use of people in different cities. It's the same entity with regard to the criminal system that's underway in the state. Understand that. But you're talking about what is Satan that's going by a different name. Satan's calling itself the Ontario Police Department. Satan's calling itself the Fontana Police Department. They are puppets the same. All right. And they are slaves to that same entity engaging in criminal conduct together. And you see that while the entity shows fury stalking me by helicopter as I'm documenting them, as I'm revealing their condition. And that's what the Ontario Police Department is doing as well, stalking, using their sounds of sirens. And you are understanding what you are witnessing. It is a show of hostility. This is terrorism. So that's exactly how it's going to be prosecuted. It's a show of hostility by a demon-possessed entity that is furious with regard to what literally every word that I utter about the truth of what they are, what's wrong with them. And by what's wrong with them, I mean the fact that you have Satan on you. And it is also that which is undeniable as you're looking at the light activity, you're looking at the environment, you're looking at the conduct that they're engaging in. And it is the elements of monitoring. It is interstate stalking, and it is interstate stalking by the demon-possessed population. It's 3:56 a.m. right now. And so I just wanted to give this note. This is prefacing what I'm documenting, and that which you need to pay close attention to. You're learning about what's demonic activity. It is directly relevant to what is, again, the times that we are in, because the times that we are in now, you're talking about what is no longer any mystery with regard to the ability to not only discern that which you cannot physically see, but you're talking about what is known by objective evidence. You can witness in the environment, pay attention to the environment, and you're looking at a demon, and you know that this is a demon based on the light activity, the abnormal activity. You're witnessing demon possession by what you are assuming is a shadow. You're actually looking at what is a dark spirit, and you're looking at what is the entity that's in this environment. And these are the ways in which you're witnessing a demonic environment while the entity is engaging in stalking with what you are assuming is supposed to be the sun, for example, and that's not the sun. You're witnessing the demonic. You're looking at what is directed light and assuming what that's sunlight, and that's not sunlight. It's called directed light. That's what it is properly referred to as. It is engineered light, and it is serving a criminal system of surveillance amongst a demon-possessed population that directly includes law enforcement. There's no exception to that demon possession. And I've also demonstrated that through what is the very criminal activity, the ongoing concerted activity, the ongoing conformity to the same exact pattern of conduct. There's no exception with regard to law enforcement. They are fully engaged in that same demonic activity. And so not only have I told that to you, they've demonstrated itself as I've documented it. They've demonstrated it themselves. Satan has shown itself through that same exact entity. So anyway, it's currently 3:58 a.m. And as I showed on video, the entity is not engaging in that criminal activities that I'm capturing in these series of videos in Ontario. Just for those moments, the entity is engaged in an ongoing show of hostility, repeatedly and continuously, just surrounding me with the sound of sirens. It's a hallmark. and they're doing it in what is directed light. So doing it for 2 seconds is the P.O.C. versus doing it all night and repeatedly and doing so in concert with the people of the state is the pattern of conduct equally. And I want to be clear on that. The entity is doing so while they are, again, this is Satan that is furious with regard to my revealing and outing Satan, and I'm also prosecuting it. And that is Satan that's going by the name, which shall be named in a federal court as the people of the state of California. It's demon possession, and they're engaged in criminal surveillance, and they're going to be prosecuted for that criminal activity. And this is the Ontario Police Department, puppets of Satan, okay? Engaging in outright just entirely demented conduct, using all their resources, 3:45 in the morning, not taking any nap, focused on me and stalking and monitoring, which is always the case. You know, all I'm doing is capturing evidence that I'm going to prosecute them with, but it's showing what is the obsession that are the demon-possessed Ontario Police Department that have engaged in for years, seeking to obstruct justice while engaging in this criminal system. And this is, again, the disbanding of such the agency. The Ontario Police Department is literally, like I've stated already, and like they have you're at this point, you're documenting yourself, but have demonstrated themselves the unfit. And that which is you are in every way disqualified from the position that you are temporarily holding. And like I stated, I will be taking those positions. And I don't mean I'm taking it as a matter of my just snatching it. You're talking about what is capturing criminal activity and what is necessary as a matter of justice, and how the federal law shall treat every other criminal of that condition engaging in that criminal conduct. And it shall be recognized as what is federal group stalking and monitoring. And the demon-possessed population in positions such as law enforcement shall not only be disbanded as agencies, but they will be removed from those positions and going to federal prison as is necessary under the federal law and under facts that are relevant regarding that. It's currently 4 a.m. and this is P.O.C. 5UYM 725. It is currently 9:57 a.m. It's Sunday, April 10th, 2022. All right, engaging in group stalking. This is surveillance and group stalking at what is Lemon in Transit, where they're maintaining light activity as well with their headlights. And this is a demon that's engaging in stalking with the government. And they're doing so at that intersection nearest the 150 East Holt building, the county building, and the Motor Inn at 111 Lemon. Group stalking sitting in that vehicle is it's a gray Audi. I'll get this license plate right now. And you have another third party that is walking on the sidewalk. They're stalking together. Just want to be clear. Engaging in surveillance, sitting in a vehicle, lining in the path. A heavily documented method of surveillance by the people. And this is that which is conduct in concert with law enforcement, demons that are stalking and engaging in surveillance, 7KIY 350. It is 9:58 a.m. Crossing path, license BNP 338, 7BNZ 088, and that is 8NNP 308. That's license plate. License 8ZZH 646. LTN 665. V586495 is a piece of paper attached to this old Hyundai Accent parked on Brian's Automotive property across from Andy's Burgers. It's 10 a.m. 6MTX 425. Engaging in the exact same surveillance. And the method is group stalking via drive-thru at a facilitating venue, Andy's Burgers. License 8FJH083, 8HDT439. This is stalking in the path. License 8YHX928, 8NRE572, AC29N63 paper. AZGH647, 6YUD002. Looks like this is quick stop. US.2959 B14. I know, 2959814, California 499290. And the VIN number is HV4978. That's a truck over here parked on the sidewalk near the facilitating venue, S.I.S Arena, monitoring. S.I.S Arena is a facilitating venue in relevant position. They're stalking on behalf of a government that's engaged in surveillance and doing so in concert with the demon-possessed agency. That is the Ontario Police. That's the city that I'm in. Surveillance is underway. You have a demon stalking with activity, comes and parks right here in alignment to me where I am standing, observing license plates and then pacing in their vehicle. Every method that I've pointed out, every pattern underway. 8DAY181. It is license plate of Quick Stop, this truck. The license plate is not visible on it. No visible license plate on it. Oh, yeah, no visible license plate. Alrighty. This Latino male with tattoos on his face that stops at S.I.S Arena. You hear him starting his ignition again. To get out of his car and close the door again, he's creating activity, and that's a demon that's pacing. Just want to break that down for you. Anyway, this is, I'm going to take a picture of this truck. There's no license plate on it. All right, it is parked in relevant position inside of a facilitating venues of B&G Plaza or S.I.S Arena at 201 Plum Avenue, or 201 Transit Avenue, 201 Plum Avenue, S.I.S Arena, 7BVT 807, 5 U.S.K 070. Five WSB 144, 4UIA 615. Okay, 10:03 a.m. And 93404. I'm sorry, 93046H2. BQY 097. ZFK 746. 7WRW 484 42819Y1. 8ATE 938 29121Y2. 8YHX 928, 7XMR 724, 6Z91775, 5A81773, 5TFM 396, 5FMN 474, 6B53594, I believe. Oh no, 6B53524, excuse me. 7XYW 102. 7FNX 739, 6YLH 589, 16293 P1, 5WMF 746, 29208 K3. That is these are minions inside of the B&G Plaza, Oscar's Barbershop, Shiro's Liquor, Andy's Burgers, facilitating venues where minions are engaging in surveillance in this parking lot and going to those venues while they're stalking in the path. CB95F51 paper, 8DIV 732, 6RRD 904, 7ZDZ 684. And that is exactly what is the case, regardless of whether you actually work at a facilitating venue. Your stalking and surveillance is underway, and you have no place of what is belonging. You have no place of what is any exception. You're in relevant position and you're monitoring. And this is also the flip side of what is that malicious system, whereby an entity engages in surveillance with the government, and in doing so, falsely assuming that you will never be identified as a stalker and also as a demon. And that is entirely false and very highly ignorant. This is a system on behalf of a government, as you witness, as I continuously document. 7HCM281. It's 10:05 a.m. That's Union Pacific, engaging in ongoing demonic activity with Ontario Police and the government, stalking by helicopter and airplanes, creating ongoing facilitating activity right now. BSGH 528. 9AFC 280. 8LQR 838, I believe. 035. I can't really see that one. 8DBE 698 7ZE. I can't see that one either. Let's scratch that. A 97981Y2. That's audible activity while the people are crossing path. Maintaining presence. License 6NRU544 with a minor in the vehicle. 6YTR964 8YEV128 16293P1. 8SVK205. 08008A3. What you're listening to the entity doing with train activity, this is demonic, and it's exactly what the entity was doing with the method of sirens, just repeatedly sounding sirens. 7WEM142. License 8SVZ932 51809F2 67148K1 7ZKZ181 5UDL872 2315 2315. I can't really see that one. If you don't get your ass out of my face, this is a minion who's being documented, and we're going to deport you out the country. All right, he's group stalking also at Ontario Ovid. That's the same minion monitoring with the Ontario police that I've documented before with the dog. And he is engaging in monitoring of this country. If he's not natural born, you ship him out of this country. What? Huh? What? Put your hands on me again. I'm gonna sock you in your ugly ass face. Put your hands on me again. Put your hands on me again. I'll punch your dog. Put your hands on me again. That's a P.O.C. That's battery. You want to touch my phone? Yeah, okay. Deportación. Deportación. You're out of here. How about that? It is currently 10:08 a.m. That's a minion that's engaging in hostility, touching my property while he's being documented. And I'm going to continue to document. This is one that's been documented at Ovid Family Community Library as well, by the way, where surveillance was underway there. And this is Omnitrans that you hear in the background. They're monitoring. It's 10:08 a.m. Go ahead.
Route 61.
It is 10:08 a.m.
Fontana.
And I did capture a series of images of that third party. That is, that's an assault. That's an assault by entity engaged in federal stalking. It's 10:09 a.m. Excuse me. Okay. $8R33020, 6PWC960, 8YCR975, 8PLB, I can't see the rest of them, 44478R1, 8WWU709, 7DHW205. $36806J3, BU759R2 paper. We're at Cardenas, which is at Campus and Holt Boulevard. 6VJK697. And again, what I documented, I captured images of that third party, but that is the government that's stalking by helicopter and by law enforcement and by the people of the state who are stalking BM3. I can't really see that one. Who are engaging in what is an assault, all right? That's touching my communication device, trying to snatch it out of my hand, engaging in what is a show of violence while you're being documented. 7WNG675, I believe. And that's what I documented right now. 6XJC332, that's what you listen to. 8KQB240. While a Spanish-speaking minion knows exactly what I'm doing, all right? And second of all, also, let me be clear, linguistics has nothing to do with what is demonic activity. So let me break that down for you. And also, you have what is specific knowledge as to what I'm doing and documenting on my, while I'm documenting a minion that's stalking in the path, supposedly walking his dog, and because I'm holding my phone, it means what to you? 8YGY033, because they're holding their phones around me all day long. All right, so like I said, under no circumstances I'm gonna stop documenting, but I'm just pointing out common sense. This is a Spanish-speaking, demon-possessed, third-party group stalker who has previously been documented, including with law enforcement. and is crossing path at what is Shiro's Liquor, B&G Plaza, monitoring with Omnitrends as you hear them in relevant position, representing the same entity as I'm reciting license plates. It's one entity, in the same way that the one entity as I'm documenting through the multiplicity of faces engaging in demonic conduct, that was terrorism, which is underway on a ceaseless basis, but the entity engaging in terrorism by demons who are repeatedly crossing path and stalking at the museum, and doing so via law enforcement, demons, and the entity that's stalking by helicopter, demons, okay, focusing on me. And this is the same exact entity, so I want to make sure I spell that out for you. 6XJC332 BM3TT01, I believe that's paper. So I just want to make sure you're understanding the nature of what is group conduct. It's on behalf of the same exact government, and doing so in an environment that is already heavily documented, including as I am in Fontana and the entity keeps a light source over me all from morning until evening. That is the absence of any light source over, or could possibly be over, that same plaza where I've documented the same presence of that light source from morning until evening. That is mutually exclusive, both individually, those venues individually, the B&G Plaza versus for example, the block from the Metrolink train station to the library, 8 CIZ 984. This is the entity keeping a light source in a manner that is within a pattern, and it is a very specific pattern because it is impossible with regard to what I am documenting, the showing of a deliberate and demonic environment conducive for what is criminal monitoring. And it's also that which is impossible, and also with regard to the nature of what you're documenting, that which is not the sun, that light source that's remaining over me in alignment, aiming light into the same exact venue, for example, the Fontana Lewis Library, while I'm walking from the library back to the train station, while I'm on the bus headed back toward Ontario, and you're keeping a fake sun, that is the absence of the light source that's over any Shiro's Liquor, over any B&G Plaza, with the exception of when I'm there in the morning and I get on the bus and you're going east to the city of Fontana and remaining there from morning until evening. All right, but like I said, the documentation, when I'm not going anywhere near Fontana, there is no time where the light source is leaving from remaining over me, remaining over the building, wherever I'm located, to be over Fontana Lewis Library at any time of the day. All right, and so this is ongoing, continuous documentation. And as I stated, as I'm in Fontana and I'm documenting, or wherever it is that I'm documenting what is the entire entity that's engaging in stalking with an environment and stalking as a people that are stalking in concert and on behalf of a government. And it's entirely demonic. And that is the government that has no right whatsoever, and that's under first of all criminal and civil proceedings with regard to what is assault and harassment and a battery. That's actually a connection while he's touching my property and representing this demented entity, 0975483. That's a license plate. While he's stalking, and this Spanish-speaking minion who was worthy of deportation. Okay, again, and his image is clearly captured, not just today. I documented him before. He exists on the record already. And deportation, and that's exactly what I stated to him, deportación, because that's what you are necessarily greeting demons engaging in criminal conduct in this country of this nature. Deportation is absolutely necessary, and that's a default with a response to with regard to dealing with this population that's engaged in this criminal system with the government in the state of California. And that's just based on with regard to being a natural born citizen or not. Anyway, it's 10:15 a.m. and I just want to clarify the significance of what you listened to, and that was the that demon touching my property in any way. You don't even have a right to be present, because this is the government that's stalking. Government doesn't have a right to be stalking, and the entity does it in plain sight because it's a system of public corruption. And so that is speaking to a very, very easy method of what is documentation of that, and a very serious prosecution. 8N58502 80323G1. And while documenting, by the way, as I did in a series of additional video and podcast entries, the entity engaging in this demonic activity, which is serving criminal monitoring by the Ontario Police, by the entity that's stalking by helicopters, and doing so at the museum where I'm sleeping, where the entity is stalking, okay? Showing to be, again, what is already established, an obsessed stalker, an infuriated, demon-possessed entity, hostile about every utterance that I'm making about the truth of your condition, which they continue to demonstrate while they're monitoring and stalking. That is the prosecution. That is evidence to be used against the entity that is acting in concert with that government, the people of the state. The same people of the state that engaged in an assault and battery right now as I'm documenting it, okay? That are engaging in what is stalking and terrorizing in your face, stalking in your face. And that's exactly what you're doing while you're engaging in surveillance with the government. All right, so it is currently 10:17 a.m. We are at the Ontario airport where the pattern of conduct is underway. 6X46636, 8EVU590. And this bus is being driven by an African American female. I did not see her employee number yet. AZTEC17, 69DBUBU, I believe. (42000C3). 8UDR011, RSTARD, I believe. (34651D1). (8SKP441, I believe. 7ZPL497, 7CKR643, K584RO. We're driving through Terminal 2, approaching Terminal 4. (7EDS494). N9396F. I can't really see that when you put scars on. 8UUL528. GZR897, AULANI2, I believe. 7DYN241. That said A56. Just had those 3 characters on the license plate. We are in Terminal 4 now. (7 ZGA 966). Airport Drive now, headed toward Archibald Avenue to go north on Archibald. Right, this is P.O.C. 8DXJ244. (8TKJ059) at Inland Empire and Archibald Avenue. 7FMZ026, 7GCB849. 7ADV135. Coming out of what is third-party facilitating venue, the Parkside community along Inland Empire Boulevard. at Inland Empire and Via Molinara. Seven EBY 856. At Milliken Avenue and Inland Empire Boulevard. WSG 684. VFZ 426. It's 10:27 a.m.
Ontario Mills
6 CTZ 5. I can't really see the rest on you. 8 AZD 826.
82.
Group stalking at the 76 at Ontario Mills. 8 HXX 155. 6 VPY 123. It's audible activity. They're monitoring together. 8XMV 283. 8YXJ 573. 7VCM 976. 8CNW 294. 8ZLH 803. That's a patrol vehicle monitoring at the mall. 8EAB 5. Excuse me, I can't really see that one. 8EAB 856, I believe. I can't really see the last character. You can guys tell. Swift crossing pass. Swift Night Transportation Holdings. X1870. What is Gurney and 4th Street now at 10:29 a.m. Maintaining presence, group stalking in the parking lot of Famous Dave's. They're lighting the path. And BJ's Brewhouse across from Ontario Mills at 11520 4th Street. This is where we're at. This is ongoing surveillance. It's pointing out the entity's conduct while I'm on transportation and the entity is engaged in surveillance. I mean, obviously this is also the case while the people are, for example, working inside of Bank of America. They're stalking the path. The entity is following with an environment, keeping it over me while I'm on the bus, and the entity is engaging in ongoing monitoring while I am en route, all right, toward Fontana itself. But I'm pointing out what are minions that are sitting in their vehicles, lining the path, engaging in that conduct as I'm seeing them engage in that P.O.C. License 7KMF 279-03005B3 8VJG 627. Alright, showing you what is the light source that remains over me at all times. The pattern of conduct does not stop. Obviously, as you see that at nightfall, demonic activity continues, and you can see the same demonic light. That theme, that satanic theme, remains underway. The impossible light, stalking with light, is conduct that remains underway. and what I captured at 10:31 a.m. I'm reminding you about where I am as I arrive at the Fontana Lewis Library, and I'm at 10:31 in the morning, and I'm reminding you about what is my presence in Rancho Cucamonga. And this is at the same time when I'm at 9281. That is the people of the state at third-party facilitating venue 9281 Calle Vejar in Rancho Cucamonga, California, where I was subject to surveillance on behalf of the same exact entity, the same exact demon-possessed entity, being surrounded by and followed, pursued with what is a demonic environment, while that which is not possibly the sun is squarely above my head, and the demon-possessed acting with the company FedEx is stalking in the path at that venue, and the light source is directly over my head in Rancho Cucamonga. The next day, I'm showing you what is at 10:31 while I go to the Fontana Lewis Library. And at 10:31 a.m., the light source is directly over the roof, following the entire route while I'm on this same exact route that I'm on now. And I'm already at the library on that particular day. Again, you're looking at what is not occurring at the same time. It is not in Fontana already over every location, because it would not just be the Fontana Lewis Library. This is asininity that would be suggesting the impossible, that the sun is over every building, over every roof, in that same central position, in its zenith, if you will, is how you refer to that, over everything at the same time. That's impossible. I'm looking at West Valley Detention Center while she's driving on San Bernardino Avenue. The light source is not over West Valley. The light source is directly over this bus, as I just captured on video. And in the same way, it's not over the Fontana Lewis Library, over the roof at 10:31, which is the case when I'm there at that venue at 10:31, which is the case when I'm at 9281 standing on the sidewalk. But what are you also looking at? That's mutually exclusive. What are you also looking at? The directed light. The light that's manifesting in the shade. Light that actually is not going to be present. It's going to be shade present when you're covering up what would be any light. But you're looking at what is engineered light. You're looking at what is the presence of Satan. This impossible conduct with this light. 6BYF782, 8R98567. You're witnessing demon possession in the same way that you're looking at that demon that's pacing around on the museum grounds last night. Pay attention to their shadow. First of all, their shadow is walking behind them. And I mean their shadow is walking behind them. And then you have what you're also looking at, more than one shadow that appears on that wall while that demon is stalking, engaging in group stalking, pacing back and forth in that engineered light while the entity is repeatedly stalking by planes and helicopters over me, and doing so with a very disturbed agency. They have the spirit of Satan on them, the demon-possessed Ontario Police Department, infuriated demons who engaged in that show, and they have provided many shows, which I documented on video, for their prosecution and the disbanding of that police department, which is infected with demon possession while they engage in criminal activity with the people of the state, federal crimes with the people of the state. And to be prosecuted for what is exactly what I'm documenting, terrorism by the Ontario Police Department. It is the exact same entity. It is the exact same conduct with what is directed light. And this is the maintenance of that light source appearing that remains over me, and there is no covering of the light source while it's cloudy, while I remain in Ontario later in the day, again, because the library opens late. Everything's centered around my schedule and what I do. That's why the light source is setting Monday through Thursday inside of the Fontana Lewis Library. And by setting inside, that's exactly what I mean. The entity is keeping that light source in alignment with that library along Sierra Avenue, as I've shown you, but this is not the case Fridays, Saturdays, Sundays. That is also not the sun. It's also not the sun when I'm standing at the same venue at 8:30, 8:50 in the morning, and I'm showing you what is that light source in Fontana, not remaining over 4th Street at the Ontario Mills at the 5030 Ontario Center Exchange at 10:30 in the morning. It's already over the library when I'm already there. All right, so this is speaking to what is unmistakable, what is literally unreasonable and impossible to even suggest. The sun is not doing what is necessarily the case, how you would try to explain that, but you can't explain it because it's not remaining over. It's not over the roof of the library right now already, while it's remaining over my head while I'm on a bus that's in movement toward that venue, while it's remaining over my head the entire time while I'm headed toward that venue. But it was there already before I got there, and then it's there as I remain there, and then it's there still when I remain in Ontario and I don't go toward Fontana. No, that's not the case. That is impossible. That is absolutely asinine what the entity is doing with light, with a light source that's not the sun. And that same analysis applies to, as I've been documenting the entity from city to city, county to county, by the way. This is the pattern of conduct. And it is currently 10:37 a.m. and that's underway while I'm on Omnitrans, the same exact entity that's engaging in the pattern of conduct with and as the people in concert with that state. And just as a matter of common sense, it logically follows where the entity is stalking at any time of the day, as you're documenting by helicopter and law enforcement, by the way, all night, 3:45 in the morning. That pattern of conduct is not taking a pause. And I'm just giving you a reference to what is common sense, which still applies when I'm revealing to you what is of the demonic. Common sense, you are not throwing it out the window. And it is that which follows with regard to what is capturing the demonic, and that is ceaselessly underway. And that is also, again, a signal with regard to legislation and what is necessary as a matter of justice to deal with what is literally Satan, that is utilizing puppets that are within the government, that are the people of the state. It is currently 10:38 a.m. and this is P.O.C. (49500R1) 32810H3 5JUC 417 and 10:40 a.m. at San Bernardino Avenue and Cherry Avenue. TOPTARP. License YP10441. That's Lopez JAR Express. We're at San Bernardino Avenue and Redwood. Oh, and that's a JAR Express. That's a large truck. That's a trucking company. (7BFK 719) 5THV 431. (6N2H 768) 6CST 873. (1567) I can't really see that one. 63873V1 8ZRL 771 8WNX 372. JKK 159. (6VYC 063) 29055F3, I believe. (8WUP 852 7XXM 523 04850E2 5WPC 110 8SWE 442 like E92DUN, I believe.
Stop requested. If possible, please use rear doors.
I think I read this one. 6VRB 119. V44 I-L-D, I believe. Seven JPF 560, 7 CTA 553 at Citrus and San Bernardino Avenue. Eight LRB 416, 8 JMT 363, 7 MCE 766. 5 LCW 448. It's 10:46 a.m.
Stop requested. Holy River Avenue.
1545799, that's Omnitrans bus 2345. 8XLK 306. And while Omnitrans is driving in the opposite direction, crossing path, which is the case with every other third party as well, and third parties that are living in relevant position while this bus is driving by, the light source is not remaining stationary over their house. It's not remaining stationary over that bus that's going back toward Ontario. It's remaining stationary directly over, and by stationary meaning maintaining, necessarily moving in order to maintain that ongoing zenith over my head while I'm on the bus, which again at 10:46 a.m., which is the time now, 10:48 a.m. The entity, as I documented, the light source that's over me while I am in at the Fontana Lewis Library already, and I'm reminding you about what is the light source at this time of year, keeping it over my hotel room at that time in the morning. 7BEG060. It's a license plate. This is the absence of any light source that's over the roof of the Fontana Lewis Library. It remains on this street as the bus is driving eastbound in this particular direction, and at this time, because as the bus then makes a turn going east or north or south, all right, which is going to turn south on Jennifer, then the light source is making that turn at the same time. It is not remaining over the Omnitrans bus at the same time while it's going opposite directions back toward Ontario, going westbound, in other words. It is very specific with regard to maintaining presence over me. And that's common sense because you can see that through the documentation. But I'm just giving you step by step. There is no reconciling what the entity is plainly doing with light, and it's entirely demonic and it's asinine. All right, the light source is remaining over me still while I'm in Rancho Cucamonga on Foothill Boulevard at this time, and what is Hellman at the Foothill Village Shopping Center. And the entity at 10:48 a.m. and then I get on Route 66. The entity kept the fake sun over me because that's not the sun. That's on the same time. At the same time now. You're talking about what is San Bernardino Avenue and Chantry. This is where the fake sun is over me while I'm on the bus. In the same way, I just captured the video at 10:30 a.m. What the entity is doing with the light source, I've already shown. This is where I'm at. This is where the fake sun is over me. That is not over Foothill Boulevard, over anybody's head in the city of Rancho Cucamonga. It's directly over me, moving over me, and doing so while I am on a route of public transportation, and not over the venue where I'm headed toward already, which is the case when I'm there earlier in the day. All right, so that is the pattern of conduct, stalking with light, just as you see at nightfall. 2 PMM 241, 8 PES 266, 801. Oh, I can't really see that one. You can scratch that. 5S. I can't see that one either. You can scratch that. 8 WAZ 762, 8 UWC 541. And that is speaking to what is the criminal conduct of the state of California at a state facilitating venue, because that's what the DMV is. And you have a light source that's over that venue. First of all, it's revealing that condition. It does not matter what sort of state employee you're dealing with. You're dealing with what are the demon possessed, and they're under that light source, the ongoing revelation of that. And they're also in what is, directed light is on the roof inside of that building, 7LKW036. That is the ongoing indication of that. And that's why it was occurring in Rancho Cucamonga. It's not occurring at 9720 Juniper Avenue. It's not, the light source is not over that property, moving over a vehicle, remaining over everyone's head, in other words, at the same time, everywhere you're going, because that wouldn't be limited also to what is in Ontario. or what the entity is doing is very specific, it's very exclusive with regard to what is maintenance and presence over me, and it coexists with what is stalking conduct by a people and what is absolutely peculiar light conduct and the government acting directly by law enforcement, by helicopters and airplanes. All right, and what the entity is doing for it by a third party such as Amazon Prime, FedEx, etc., that is tantamount to what is the conduct acting directly using such companies, using their airplanes, using demon-possessed pilots who are engaging in that level of terrorism and stalking, is tantamount to what is government conduct. But again, those are, you're using those logos, and so to be prosecuted as the people. 8PQZ003. It is 10:51 a.m. 7G. I can't really see that one. 7GZX593, I believe is what it was, but you can scratch that one, you can't see it. 8VYN574. 8XAK. I can't really see that. 63459C3. At El Super, at Marigold and Sierra Avenue. 6UBC742. 8MQN294, 8LXV671, 8TAF441, 8SMW974, I believe. (7SCP133), 8NQY029, 8DUG044, 8LJV737, Route 19, bus number 1215, group stalking at Marigold and Sierra Avenue. 8ARD381. Six LVV772. 8EAX 984, I believe. I can't really see that one. 8XDF279. 7FRW464. 79001J1, 8CJP238, BH, I think that's BH 27476, I believe. 5CCG617, 8WEH833. 6WBL199, 34207L3. Alright, I captured video at 10:54 a.m. showing what is the maintenance of the light source in the same manner as I showed you at 8:26 in the morning from that same intersection, Marigold Avenue and Sierra Avenue, where the entity is keeping a light source and engaging in the demon-possessed entity, the people of the state, giving with regard to what is revealing their condition and their criminal system. While that light is underway on the roof, while I'm sitting at the back of the bus, and I'm showing you what's the fake sun in perfect alignment with me at the back of the bus. And what do you see today at 10:54 a.m., where the that which is the light source that's not the sun is not present over the roof of the library already at this time, when I'm already I've been there for a long time. That the Fontana Lewis Library is a particular venue that I'm referencing. And that is not the case. It's remaining in alignment with me in the same manner that it is at 8:26 in the morning, as I documented, on the same exact route. And the entity is keeping that light source in alignment to me. 8R15731. That's called stalking with light, in the same way that the entity is doing at nightfall, in the same way that the demons that use methods of light activities, such as I showed you and you heard, which is called criminal summoning. That's what is the demonic activity by the demon-possessed population that are in the position of law enforcement. And this is how the demon-possessed are engaging in what is the criminal act, what is facilitation of stalking with light. All right, and doing so in a specific environment. And so you're looking at, and I'm showing you what is stalking with light day and night. And during the day, you're talking about what is the maintenance of a light source that is not possibly the sun, and just dissecting that in every way in which you're looking at what is plain, pure asininity with what the entity is doing with the light source. And there is no way to realistically engage in that conduct. There is no way to engage in it, actually, and not be documented. You cannot get out of what is a pattern of that which is impossible to ever occur under circumstances, under any circumstances. That's what the entity is doing, and then covering it up, and then engaging when I go to a different street or a different block, then showing it. That's why you document, and there's no getting out of that documented record. And it's absolutely, not only is it entirely demonic, this is darkness that is covering a people, covering a land, and that includes what's the government, and this is what's going on in the U.S. And this is what is, again, permeating, what is plaguing the law enforcement agencies, as I've documented. Again, the Fontana Police Department, the Sheriff's Department, the Ontario Police Department, the Pomona Police Department, the Los Angeles Police Department. I can go on and on because I have documented this, and this is the identical pattern of conduct, which is absolutely impossible to naturally be the case. And also, when you're looking at what is the wealth of that documentation, I mean, there's a whole full body of documentation, which is, again, is being used to show what is establishing a precedent, all right, with regard to what is the very real existence of the system. But you're talking about what is the ordinary prima facie case. Oh, the entity is documented with regard to what is supposedly the sun that's over the Fontana Lewis Library. Yeah, no, it's not. That's not the sun. That's remaining over me while I'm already there. But while I'm not there on the next day, the light source is remaining in alignment with me while I'm on the same bus route, going in the same direction to the venue where you're already over the roof while I'm there. All right, that's the P.O.C. It is 11 a.m. And this is the entity that is engaging in that conduct. That's the people of the state who provide a wealth of documentation showing the sex offender that they are, showing the demented stalkers that they are. And that's exactly what the Ontario Police Department, the Fontana Police Department, the city of Fontana demonstrates for you. They are the same with regard to the people of the state. And that is the criminalization of their demonic conduct, their ritualistic, satanic conduct that they are engaging in with regard to placing one under surveillance, monitoring them. And this is, again, bus number 2361, directed light. She's molesting with, directed light, terrorizing with directed light in the way that I showed you in that very video at 8:26 in the morning. While this entity is observing the fact that I captured another video, this is what the entity does with helicopter stalks more so, and you're going to federal prison for that. Every minion is on surveillance camera on this bus engaging in a molestation. They're demons that are, by virtue of that conduct, shall be prosecuted as touching and molesting with that directed light while they're monitoring, okay? And that's the conduct of psychopaths who are a danger to society. They're a danger to the public, and they will be placed in cages in order to neutralize such a threat. It is currently 11:01 a.m. and this is employee 3424, 6GTV 966, 7FCY 820, 8VXL 084. Those are minions that are stalking in the path and touching. 8KWZ 902. And they are not different from the demons of the Ontario Police Department. All those videos that I captured, they're the same exact entity, and that's what you need to understand. It's a demon-possessed population. Dissecting them and prosecuting them based on the methods employed on behalf of the entity and the positions that you're in while you're engaging in that demonic and sick criminal activity. That's the only difference, but they're not different. This is Satan. It is 11:02 a.m. and the fake sun is over the Fontana Metrolink train station. Upon arrival.
And Metrolink. Please do not jaywalk. Use the crosswalk or you may receive a ticket.
That's employee 3424 engaging in the pattern of conduct. Excuse me. Excuse me. Alrighty, again, employee 34. Excuse me. Let me read you the bus number. Bus number 2361 is what this employee, the African American female, is driving, and it's license 1545945, and it is 11:03 a.m. and I have arrived to what is the Fontana Metrolink train station. Alrighty, that is that minion who is engaging in what is pacing outside of the bus. You see her walk out, and then she walks to the driver's side of the bus. She's walking back, she's pacing, and she's doing so in direct light with knowledge of the fact that her picture is being taken. Anyway, it is currently 11:04 a.m. so I'm documenting what is my arrival at the Fontana train station, and this is Your employee number 3424. Oh, I documented already. This is so funny when they're stalking and then they're ignoring you. Honey, go get your hair fixed. Get my what for it? Oh, you're gonna fuck me up? Go ahead. Keep on talking.
I don't give a damn.
Yeah, I'm glad
I
you
don't
don't.
give a damn.
Go ahead.
You're a fucking nut job. You just walk around bothering people. Go on about your business.
How many times have I met you?
Bye bye.
How many times have I met you?
You're a headache.
How many times have I met you?
Get your mind together.
How many times have I met you? You're gonna F me up?
I'm gonna tell you this.
You're gonna F me up?
Get away from me.
You're gonna F me up, right? You're employed 3424.
Don't walk up on
I'm
me,
on the
okay?
sidewalk. I'm
Okay,
not.
then stay
I'm
there.
on the sidewalk like I was before. But I want you to keep talking, Satan. Go ahead. You're gonna F me up, right?
Your mama
How
said.
many times? How many times have I met you?
Girl, go on about
What are
your
you talking
business.
about my
Go
teeth
on
for?
about your business.
What if, I am. What are you talking
Bye-bye.
about? No. You're threatening. I want you to
All
go
you
ahead and keep
wanna do
talking.
is bother people.
No, I don't think so. This is P.O.C.
Ain't got no life.
This is
Go on
P.O.C.
about your business.
This is the coming out of the mouth of a
Go on about your
minion.
business.
You're
Go
gonna
on
help
about
me,
your
right?
business.
You're gonna hurt me? You gonna hurt me? I'm interested. I'm fascinated right now. Hello? Hello? Is that it? Was that your fake gangster speech? That's all you got? Okay. This is 11:05 a.m. Alrighty, it is 11:09 a.m. and I wanted to capture what is the entity in that specific environment while you're hearing the communication of physical threats of harm. 19038E3. This is the same entity that's group stalking by the Ontario Police Department. As you see, Amazon Prime, the Fontana Police Department, group stalking by helicopters, following from city to city, place to place by helicopters, stalking by a people, and including the company that is Omnitrans that's engaging in that surveillance. And this is Satan that is very, very hostile. That's the reality of what is this person's condition. While she's resorting to what is trying to engage in some method of physically threatening me, while then refusing to further communicate those threats, while I want to document that, okay? Because first of all, I'm documenting. I'm gonna prosecute you for everything that's coming out of your mouth. It's audible activity, and then she resorts in what is being quiet and stop speaking because I'm inquiring. Oh, you're gonna hurt me, really? When is it that we had an encounter when she's speaking so specifically about all I do is this and all I do is that? When is that? When is it that I'm doing this? What is it that you've heard of me? When did we have an encounter? We have not. She is engaging in what is unfounded hostility, and why? Because I'm documenting what is a demon. First of all, this is a demon. This is Satan that I'm encountering. Understand that this is demon possession, and it's also criminal conduct by that entity. This is what you're witnessing as I'm documenting the Ontario Police while they're engaging in the elements of monitoring. They are severely hostile demons. This is demon possession that I'm encountering. All right, you have unfounded hostility, and then while they engage in that, you're listening to what's coming out of their mouth. These are admissions. You're dealing with the same entity. It's not different. You're only looking at different faces, but this is the reality of what is demonic conduct, and it's the reality of what is actually conduct on behalf of a government. This is surveillance, and this is why also in this audible activity of this minion who is engaging in what is stalking me and trying to insult me. You can't insult me. You're stalking, and you are hostile. Why? Because I'm asking your employee number, because you know what I'm doing on my phone, merely because I'm holding it, and you're talking about what I'm doing all the time when we've never had an encounter. That's what you're paying attention to. You're not going to be distracted by what is the fury of what is a demon. That's why you're so mad. And then you're making a threat to physically harm me, and I'm waiting for you to do that. Okay? I wish you. This is the entity that's engaging in nothing other than forms of harassment and intimidation and threats. Okay? So I want to make sure that that is clear. You're doing so in the position of what is a company whose pockets I will drain. All right? Omnitrans is engaging in what is theft of property, engaging in what is facilitation of what is ongoing terrorism and sexual violence. While you're engaged in that surveillance and doing so under what is the fake sun, which I captured at 11:05 a.m. Let's just be clear: the entity keeping a fake sun over me while I'm, for example, remaining in Ontario on a day where I didn't go anywhere. I remained at literally the address of 435 South Bonneview up until 11:05 a.m. where I'm in the gates of that property, and that's where the light switch is over my head. Right here, while I'm in Fontana, getting off of that bus driven by this minion, and who is engaging in what is making a threat. That's the pattern of conduct, and that's as of late. That was March 14th. That's what I'm documenting that at the same time as well. While she's engaging in verbalizing a threat, she's doing so on behalf of an entity. She's doing so on behalf of the demons who I'm documenting, who are engaging in that pattern of conduct as one. Okay, and let me be clear: this is exactly the entity that is lying about what's happening on the surveillance cameras on their buses, stealing a backpack. That's exactly how pathetic this entity is. While then you have another one that's talking about she's going to F me up and she doesn't care. So I'm going to use those words against her. I'm glad that she doesn't care. We'll see how much she doesn't care. She's engaging in that audible activity creation in relevant position under the light source, indirected light, on behalf of an entity that's engaging in terror. That's terrorism in and of itself, but engaging in terrorism, stalking by helicopters and police officers, sheriff's department deputies, all of them engaging in what is kidnapping. And let me be clear, when an entity is going out of its way to kidnap you in order to silence you, is gassing up helicopters to fly over you, try to scare you, you care very much, all right? And that's why you're so mad, all right? Engaging in what is stalking while you're driving for $17 an hour with tattoos on your calf muscles. That speaks to what she is from, what she is about. But even that's not instilling fear. This is Satan, all right? And you are literally inferior. You're stalking me, all right? So I want to be clear on that. And you're monitoring. While she's uttering these threats, she is monitoring. It is audible activity. Do not be distracted. The light source is over my head. It's audible activity. You're looking at what is the conduct of the group stalking companies such as Amazon Prime. They engage in crossing a path while the entity engages in such threatening conduct. They like to engage in that sexual violence. They like to engage in participating in this demonic activity while it's underway. That's what you're witnessing, okay? That's what Amazon Prime, you also see that. That's symbolic threatening conduct while the demons of that company are engaging in group stalking at that particular moment, all right? They're doing so on with regard to what is, yes, the P.O.C, but they like to participate and cross path, engage in that demonic activity. It holds demonic symbolism, all right, with regard to communication of hostility by demons, who are, again, hostile to being documented. License 92997W2, 1545798. That's bus 2342. And that is providing, again, what is context as to what is demonic activity. But this is with regard to what is just pure breaking down of what is criminal conduct within a pattern. That is exactly what is the case. You're crossing path while you are threatening and communicating a threat as an entity. While you're crossing path, you're threatening as well. And you're doing so in that specific environment. That's what Amazon Prime is doing. So I'm giving you both what is the reality of what is demonic, as Amazon Prime is present, crossing path at that particular moment with purpose. Also, what is the criminal system that's in operation, okay? And that is actually the criminalization of that demonic activity, okay? And again, that's employee number, I believe, 3424. I already cited her employee number on the bus, and I asked her to repeat it, and this is when she goes into threatening like she's going to do something, like she's going to jump. Because somebody's asking her employee number, and that's what you're going to pay attention to, okay? And speaking to what it is that I'm doing all the time, I guess they're sitting around having meetings about me. That's what she knows that I'm doing all the time. And what I'm doing, actually, while I'm capturing what is supposedly the sun outside of the window, and that's bothering you so much, this is just common sense breaking down. This is demonic, right? And the entity just flew over right now by aircraft. That's demonic. She's going to federal prison for that. I'm breaking all this down because you're understanding what is federal prison. This is an employee who is engaging in what is the pattern of conduct, threatening on behalf of an entity, doing so holding hands with demons that are stalking in helicopters and in vehicles of law enforcement, and by an entire demon-possessed entity. All of these thousands of third parties that are crossing path, they're engaging in criminal conduct. And you're engaging in what is communicating a threat while you're doing that? Because you think that makes you feel better because your images are being captured, which you know because you're a demon. You're monitoring, and you're doing so in a specific environment, and you're hostile to it. That's federal prison. That's exactly where she's going. This is the same venue also, by the way, not just with regard to where I'm at another time, I'm reminding you. I'm also at the, for example, the Fontana Lewis Library at 1105. I use that as an example, the City Bank, which is north of this street, the same street. And why is that? Because the entity is stalking ceaselessly with a light source. So it is over me, regardless of where it is that I am. And I document that as I remain, for example, as I go to a different county, and I'll capture the time because that's an impossibility. And so that's why I also have it here. But even being here at the train station is not being over the Citibank parking lot right over my head. It's not being inside of the Fontana Lewis Library as I walk out and it's right there over the roof. Even that is what is stalking, showing what is stalking with the light source. But in addition to that, this is the same venue where the entity is present at 8:38 in the morning. That's just what I documented. Over my head, the same Fontana Mentoring train station at 6:09 p.m. as I've documented at the same Fontana Mentoring train station, where you have what is a third party that's legally relevant making a threat. So that's why I'm going through this analysis. That is federal prison. 6197383, monitoring with these demons who are continuously engaging in that criminal system while you are monitoring one on behalf of a government, and then you are engaging in what is uttering a threat to that American citizen. You go to federal prison for that. BU49Z63 paper, and I captured not only video of her but also images of her. And that is, again,
That's a prosecution of what are the people of the state, Omnitrans, the company. But this particular third party, she is going to federal prison for that, all right? And for that criminal conduct that she's engaging in on behalf of and in concert with that entity. Understand how that group conduct is broken down into what shall be federal prison for that particular third party as well. But I just want to point that out. And this is everything that I documented right now. And this is a sex offender, all right? She's engaging in sexual violence. She's a demon, directed light all over the buses. I've documented Omnitrans. That's exactly what is underway. And then she's engaging in expressing that hostile, that unfounded hostility while I'm asking her what is her employee number, and engaging in what is threatening me. Now, you're talking about what is an ability to deal with Satan accordingly. I'm not going to, this is literally, you're talking about what is everything that's coming out of her mouth with regard to go get an apartment, referencing something about my mother, referencing something about what is, and it's captured on my podcast, exactly what she's stating. But you're talking about what's very specific with regard to what she's uttering, and it's entirely unfounded. It's following what is my question of what's her employee number. Listen to that. But what I want you to pay attention to is what's coming out of the mouth of Satan. Satan engages in a lot of admissions with regard to the fact that it's a stalker, while it tries to harass and distract from what is documentation and just wants to express what is fury. Okay, while she is talking about what is absolutely irrelevant to what is her employee number, okay? Which is a basic question. A basic question which you shouldn't have a problem providing when somebody's just getting video of what is the sun that's out the window on the bus and the directed light, and which you shouldn't even know what I'm talking about with regard to that very specific jargon. All right, what do you know about what's directed light? And I'm referencing a light source. Why does that make you so angry when I'm asking you your employee number? This is common sense that you're applying, okay? I'm dealing with what are the demon possessed. And that is grounds of federal prison, what you just listened to. You're going to federal prison for that. And this is the unlawful threat by the government who's threatening your physical safety while you're documenting it. And then also engaging in what is an ongoing sex offense while you're also following. This is the same exact entity that's stalking in bathrooms. So I just want to be clear, and you're understanding all of those strings that are attached to what's coming out of the mouth of this minion who is working for a bus company that's engaged in surveillance, okay? This is unfounded hostility with knowledge of the fact that you're being documented. This is the same entity that's engaging in what is theft of property, stealing my backpack because that's how mad you are, while you're lying about what's going on in surveillance cameras. And that's a matter of documentation lying, because what my video captures on, my video camera captured the same thing that their surveillance cameras would have captured. And Mike Deanza lied about it, okay? And that's exactly what I documented. This is the same company, all right? Doing so and engaging in what is surveillance because you are engaging in what is criminal, and you know the significance of what I'm documenting. You should not know. You should not even be angry about it. But you understand what I'm speaking to is that which is indeed what I have created, a framework in order to what is prosecute what is of the demonic. And that is, again, a show of fury by a demon, a violent sex offender, engaging in terrorism while communicating a threat like you're going to hurt me. You're going to hurt me. I'm here for it. Let me start capturing video while you hurt me, Satan. And this is because I'm asking you your employee number, right? Okay, so this is the minion that's driving Route 61, of course, is the African-American with the dreads, with the calf on her, the tattoo on her calf, while she's talking very specifically about what she's going to do as I'm documenting her. So again, that's license plate 1545945, 2361 is the bus number. And it is 11:21 a.m. I wanted to get her capturing, and she's on surveillance cameras on that bus. That is facilitation of what is a threat. The way that the entity and way the demonic activity works. You're talking about what is Satan that is using people. This is relevant to what is prosecution. This is the criminalization of demonic activity. And so while a demon is communicating a threat on behalf of a demon-possessed entity, you are in the same way a third party monitoring on behalf of a government, communicating a threat on behalf of that entity. It is entirely criminal what's coming out of her face, while she is also stating that she doesn't give a F. She doesn't care. All of this with regard to what is an unlawful threat. This is an impermissible threat, and that's federal prison. That's exactly what's necessary. And with regard to what is her identity, the company that she's working with, the entity that on whose behalf she's stalking, which is the state of California. Okay, so like I said, that is all of that analysis is relevant, and it is currently 11:22 a.m. and license plate 8M91700. And as you see, again, I want to point out the symbolism with regard to those that engage in crossing a path at the time that they do. All right, the entity is engaging in sexual violence. You'll pay attention to not just the fact that the entity is present. Yes, they're monitoring. Particular actors engage in the pattern of conduct at specific times. This is demonic activity as well. You're going to prosecute for that. Amazon Prime is a sexually perverted, a demented, and terrorizing company engaging in group stalking. It's a practicing of demonic activity. And they're crossing path at that moment on purpose. 7S. JK 997, not just on purpose with regard to monitoring, with regard to what is communicating a threat, communicating in unison what is an intent to pose harm. That's what is relevant to what is that crossing in path conduct at that moment. 7RHY679, 6YEN175, 6DQC798, and that is what reasonably follows when you are in that specific environment communicating that threat. That's exactly what's happening. This is what is group stalking. All right, and so this is not just providing a translation, some subjective translation to what is the demonic conduct that's underway. It is that which also reasonably follows, even though you cannot disregard what is relevant. It's legally relevant, demon possession. This is terrorism. It is that which also reasonably follows in the specific environment, everything that is accomplishing monitoring with communication devices, and it's audible activity. All right, and it is the communication of that threat while you're engaging in presence. That's the criminal act. And the entity is intentionally present in an environment that is being maintained. That's not the sun. That's not sunlight. That's touching my person. You're crossing path in an environment, and that's what you're doing while you're monitoring. And you want to monitor while particular audible activity is being created. You want to monitor while particular sexual violence is underway. You want to monitor while the entity is engaging in specifically violent threats to the life, stalking by helicopter, stalking by police. This is what Amazon Prime is doing under the same exact fake sun on this same block yesterday after 6 o'clock in the evening. All right, Amazon is captured on video at this time where the entity's light source is, first of all, not already over the Fontana Lewis Library, but nonetheless, it's directly over me, which I can reference other documentation as to where it is at the same time, not the sun. All right, directly relevant to what demons are doing at the moment that they do it. Okay, and that's what you're paying attention to, in addition to what is the grounds of federal prison. That's federal prison for companies that engage in that. All right, that's what Amazon Prime is demonstrating. That's what you're understanding. BF74X99 paper plate. For you're engaging in what is, again, repeatedly crossing path moments after that you're pointing it out. The entity it's like the United States Postal Service crossing path again, repeating, as I pointed out, the Fontana Police Department coming closer as I'm pointing out they're engaging in surveillance behind me on video under the fake sun, and doing so as though it's, and I'm just providing this narrative as though it's it has nothing to do with some sort of stalking with activity conduct. We're just driving by. No, you're not. You're actually repeatedly crossing path. You're posing an impermissible threat. It is the pattern of conduct, but you're also a demon that is engaging in that pattern of conduct at that particular time with that criminal motive, with that demented purpose. And it is in no way helpful or conflicting or contradicting anything. You're under the fake sun, indirect light, stalking in the path, period. And I'm documenting that on that day. I documented it the day before, and I'll document it the next day, what you were doing. 8FLM365, it's not a mystery. And this is demonic activity. 8HEV157. So I want to be clear on that. That's what I'm capturing, the significance of that. And everything that's coming out of this demon's mouth that is particularly what I find to be particularly revealing while she is going off as I'm asking her employee number. And then making physical threats, and then speaking to the fact that she doesn't care. What is it that she does? What is it that you don't care about? What is it that? What are you referencing? You're paying very close attention to what I'm doing while I'm capturing videos of the environment. Is that what's got you at such a high level of pissosity? And 8TQL013. I find it entertaining. Satan cannot insult me. Satan is a stalker. Satan is inferior. Satan is with regard to, again, anger, because you are inferior and because you do not have any authority and because I am literally putting your face all over the map, and then I'm going to prosecute you. 8KZD891. That's what's pathetic about it. All right, Satan is put in its place. 7NFX530, and that meaning is driving a bus for a living. 5WDR499, and at that you're stalking while you're driving a bus for a living. 61609F2. All right, and so if you're talking about getting your rocks off because you want to talk about getting an apartment, which, how do you know where it is that I'm living? This is a specific reference. This is what I'm stating. And you're referencing what is, nothing that I'm carrying is revealing anything to you about where I'm living, by the way. Like I said, you're talking about what is specific knowledge that you are revealing while Satan cannot control itself. Satan doesn't have any self-control. Satan is infuriated. Satan is defeated. 30234F3, and that is exactly what is her condition. I'm encountering Satan. You're listening to me encounter Satan. It's demon possession. This is minions that lose, okay? And unfortunately for them, it's not unfortunate, it's necessary, it's great, it's good with regard to justice, but it's just so idiotic. If it's just so idiotic, it's to your own demise and you continue to serve, literally dig your own grave even deeper, I mean, if that's possible, because it's going to be an absolute, complete, and comprehensive prosecution and addressing everything that's necessary as a matter of justice, but you serve your own just desert while you engage in more of the same, which is going against your own interests, and then it's conduct on the entity, the entire entity's interests. All right, so like I said, it baffles with regard to 8MMT881. But so again, you're talking about what is ass and entity with regard to what is a fake sun. I mean, you're talking about, caught red-handed. And that is infuriating with regard to what is a system that's supposed to be underway right in front of your face, and you would never question it. Understand how that is entirely infuriating to what is Satan itself, while Satan uses minions who are literally beneath me. And I mean that. You're talking about you are absolutely beneath me, and you are in every way engaging in what is your own, you're helping me prosecute you. And I don't even need Satan's help. I don't need it. All right, but you are helping me, and you're engaging in what is your own demise, the own accomplishing of your own demise while you do so. All right, so it's currently 11:28 a.m. Fontana Police Department crossing path, driving north on Sierra Avenue. I'm at the intersection of Orange Way, where you already saw the fake sun. This is the same intersection where I'm showing you Officer McMillan at 9 o'clock in the morning, where I'm capturing last night after 6 o'clock in the evening. This is where the demon-possessed police department, the Fontana police, are of the same condition of the Ontario Police Department. These are demons. This is the demon-possessed population. The same condition of, again, the people of the state acting by bus-driving, demon-possessed stalkers that engage in any kind of oppression that they can. They want to steal somebody's backpack because I'm going to prosecute you. All right, because you're mad, because the world is going to know, first of all, about your condition and your criminal conduct, and you're a violent sex offender. 1479378, that's Omnitrans, bus 1313, 7KHS596. And so this is what you're paying attention to, and this is what you're learning while you're listening to this demon. And I'm asking her, please keep talking. Please keep talking. If you're going to hurt me, I'm waiting. Please make a move. And you're talking about what is monitoring activity and admissions that she's making while she's engaging in what is that which is demonstrating knowledge as to who I specifically am. Do I need that? No, because she's in a specific environment. You already know that this is a stalker. You already know that also this is a demon-possessed stalker who is present on behalf of the government. But like I said, as the audible activity comes out of her mouth, you're demonstrating that knowledge. All right, and this is an idiot. All right, you're an idiot, and everything that's coming out of your mouth, I'm going to use against you. So that's why I just run your mouth. Please keep talking, Satan. Go ahead. She's going to federal prison for that. All right, 8RYR886. That's very serious with regard to what is a threat to the life. If you're looking at demons that are of law enforcement, they're bearing weapons, they're stalking, doing so 24 hours a day. Literally being psychopaths, running around in circles around me, sounding sirens, doing so in what is absolutely abnormal light, impossible light, hovering around me, stalking in helicopters. I mean, you're looking at all manner of what is psychopath conduct by the government, speaking through this minion. All right, this minion with tattoos on her calf, talking about she don't give a F, and I want her to repeat that line in federal court when I'm prosecuting her and she's going to federal prison. And then she can talk about how she doesn't give a F. All right, so it is currently 11:30 a.m. That is the stalker that is Omnitrans, 5KBU 514 crossing path. That is the stalker that is Omnitrans and engaging in what is massive facilitation. That's harassment and intimidation by an entity engaged in federal stalking. The same entity that is, again, this ongoing specific knowledge that is maintained, that is demonstrated, that is done in concert with the government, that is indeed engaged in surveillance. This is the same company that is engaging in what is the documented kidnapping by entity. That is Omnitrans. That was using Route 66, as I documented in July of 2021. And Omnitrans is stalking in the path, engaging in an ongoing federal group stalking and monitoring while an ongoing kidnapping by entity was in progress. This is a company to be prosecuted not only as a sex offender, not only as engaging in what is terrorism, surveillance in concert and on behalf of a government, but also what is kidnapping by an entity. This is the federal crime under what is the conduct of a government engaged in federal group stalking and monitoring, which is terrorism and state surveillance. 7EJG080. All of this is relevant while this third party is engaging in what is that show of force, that unlawful show of intimidation. You are going to federal prison. That is directly relevant and relevant to what is a term of what is time in federal prison while you represent that company, which is the people of the state engaging in that impermissible threat. It's currently 11:31 a.m. This is P.O.C. 7RMH075, 6MOV191, 8TQS026, 8ZPA719. 8RTR811, and it's 11:32 a.m. License 7VQK267. I'm sorry, 6VQK267. License plate 19689R2. 7GCL431. (06760L2). That's L and F remodeling. 6ZU. Oh, you can scratch that. I can't say the one. 6SRG153, 67170Y2, 6FRV461, 8GFU129, 7NUE581, 26933Z1, 7UGY071, 8SVA694, 5LTD199, 7ZKH711, 8HNH284, 8. Oh, I can't really see that one. 8UEX767. 59055G1, 1387135, that's bus number 1252. 7FGT449, 8GQX499, 9458TE1, 7ZAZ082. Let's see, 8ZLW075. 7ROX649. 7MOD225. 5JWS412. 6GZC650. 08514Y, can't see the rest of that one. DEC0713, 8SJM023, 7DXV569, 6HCE046, 8RLV188, 7PFZ968, 7ULG578, CP9725, that's Nevada, 8PRP770, 5CID380, 6WXT165, 7022OK3. License 7VY8976. (8YLB199). 6TRA432. License 05036S1. 8ZCF184. 84714F3. 6PSV170. BXN2132, that's Arizona. 8XLK270. And this is 23759B2. 7WGJ987, 7AGJ906, 8WPB423, 7RFW716, I'm sorry, 7REW716, 7RCV913, 8WVZ008, 7KQM395, 92305R2, 7FDV077, 8ZLT998, 8TVZ925, 8PPY330, 7VHV422, 8JUD265. 8R53837, 6NKB 688, 45877K2, 8AZD 818, 8BJH 615, 7GNJ 002, 031663Z2, I believe, 39872B1, 25287S2, 7VCK463, 6HGY721, 16588G2, 6ZNU080, C2. Oh, I can't really see that one. You can scratch that one. License plate 58659F2, 8WDH 606, Y81088, 68238G3, 8VSK360, 8ZLA159, 8ETE615, 8AIV001, 7YTY111. Oh, you can scratch that. I can't really see that one. 4KTM560, 8YFZ514, 7YLT921, 8Z97483, 7RVF. I can't really see that one either. 6YPC782, 4VSE562, 5PNP367, 5DGV386. That's amplified audible activity, stalking with activity. 8ULD484. That's a car alarm that's nowhere near that vehicle. They're just sounding noise. This is audible activity. 8WPB423, and this demon comes to his vehicle while this noise is being maintained. That's license 68238G3. These venues are monitoring Cat's Beauty Studio, at 8563 Sierra Avenue, Quinceañera Dresses, Cali Curves, Columbia Fajas. They're monitoring the Gamma Insurance, Ramirez's Furniture, 8585 Sierra Avenue. This is the Prime Rehab Center, Casa Barreto Restaurant, which you know that's where the entity engaged in what is this show of directed light, and the fake sun was right over me. And that, again, that was during the 10 o'clock hour. Today on the bus, this is the light source that's over me. It's not over Casa Barreto. And the actual sun is not going to be on the same street at 6 o'clock in the evening, as I've also documented in front of Casa Barreto. Like I said, this is where the demons are maintaining presence, including via Amazon Prime license plate 79745H3. 5CBR509 04923X2 8ZNL 800 15526X1 8CVX 700 4DHR 873 36287U2 8EYN 262 6VPL 096 8VER 273 7DDR 929 39580R1 8YAJ 777 7JHC 175 7YAT 499 8WWE 812. And this is the same entity that's engaging in what, understand the words that come out of the mouth of the entities, threatening physical violence, and they're engaging in stalking. Alrighty, license plate 8KVW827, 7KUJ467. Monitoring while the entity creating all that noise, loud vehicle, that's amplification, and then you have a car alarm that's by me that was nowhere near the amplified. This is the maintenance of noise. In other words, the light source is right over my head. 8HAD336 51851T1, and it occurs as I begin walking. So as I'm reading license plates, I stop walking, I resume walking. You're talking about maintenance of an environment. Okay, license JKLMR. 7FDY944. Seven LMS 931, 8WAP 660, 8VGW 621, 8NJD 798, 5RCJ 407, 04160A3. Two 3759 B2, 82596 P1, 7 TLW 459. 24Y0173, 9AKF 330, BG40A65, license 8FMV037, 47156F2, 8M24871, 7FIF325, 8VOP431, 8HGL948, 7WLN766, 7BOE721, 74143J1, 8LZP887, 7HPL245, 68214V2, 7RGA 660, 7AWJ 315, 8BEZ 961, 8PWT 804, 8ENK 446, 8, I think I wrote that one, 8LZP 887. 26053C2. 00C 862, 9AHR 323, 8TOR 858, 8VAC 865, 8ZKK 462, 43814M1, 8YZA 713, 8ESA 203, 8GPL 562, 31875 Z2, 6WEG 078, 1BRAV 05, 8SFK 914, 1981. I can't really see that one. Let me scratch that one. 6AGM 332, 8RLU154, 7SPX 869, 6NMG 821, 7WJN 987, 8VIU 731, 8AWV 734, It's 11:46 a.m. 8SAV 023, 096ZY handicap. Okay, 8AIU 126. Seven Y55154, 5LDE 811, 8XJR 037, 6MNT 928, 7Y55, whatever that one, 633T11 Nevada, 8KRM 994, 5LDE 811, 8FQX 889, 6CDN 073, 757G. I can't really see the rest of it. It's 11:47 a.m. H 84055, 8FXD 123, 00726D2, 8RQE 190, 73066K1, 8NDH 105, 7DDJ 601, 53867H3, 772MC handicap, 8WEG 683, 7VGD 959, 8TWJ 107, 6TPL 656, 8PFB 124, 7HEX 630, 8KVL 329, I believe, 2SVD 683, 8F92262, 8TXX 257, 8EYG 606, 7HMT 715, 7UXL 393, 8EYN 262, 6LSZ 155, 8HKD 703, 138735, bus 1252, 7WDB 824, I believe, 9974, you can scratch that, I can't see that, LYSAKAT, 88277S1, 6TWG 879, 6HCE 046, 8, I can't see that one either, 8LKU 566, 7YGD 810, 7W75723. Um, 5JKP008, 46356T1, 7FWW647, 8XQZ074, 79947B2, 8VVR080, 8KZG564, I believe. Again, that is 46356T1. 5VPR492, 6UXC739, 24260P2, 6URR118, 29366A3, 4PFP584. 8KSP994, 6RFT958, 7RHT887, 6JPM141, 8Y29192, 6VOL216, 6XNR803, 6YWH883, 8PWY057, 7JAW997, 5FYT 312, but I can't really see the rest of it. Scratch that. 8ZKS, you can scratch that one. 6EPK844, 6VPX051, 7KIV854, 7TBJ076, 44725N2, 5JJG191, 8XFR921, I believe, but you can scratch that one, I can't see that. 9ACF093, 8VER273, 7NXB836, 4VSE562, 6VPX051, 7VXZ491, I believe. BA552 handicap, 7BSR496, 7JSE618, 4UQW539, 7ZKH830, 6W8, I can't see the rest of them, 8JHN366, 6URR118, 8LKS430, 2752OU2, 8ULG805, 6BEB859, 6X, I can't see the rest of them, you can sketch that one. It's 11:52 a.m. 44136L2, 6UOB 618, I believe. 7SJK997, 6RPV636, 8ZAM 807, 5NCU 140, 8MSS 938, JKLMR 8XOD 579, 8AKG 885, 24512H2, 94466S2, that's Matrix Construction Services, 8DUP 766, 8M38103, 5X33537, 8EVH 841, 5KEN 512, 8JJY 942, 4HCW 122, 6HZG 895, 8XVZ 575, 73975 handicap, 7CAC 340, 8CSP 294, 8NMJ 094, 8MKG 153, 4D049N1, San Bernardino County Fire, crossing path as well. That's criminal summoning. 6STJ 629, 6YYK 841, 7NZD 144. This is license plate 1471025. That's San Bernardino County Fire. That's criminal summoning. License 8UAR 688, 8TQR 305, 6PKR 552. That's what the Ontario Police Department were doing last night. It's called criminal summoning. It's facilitation. Metrolink is crossing path as well. They're going westbound on the train tracks right now, and there's surveillance cameras on those trains and that train station. 8UZL 905, 8AZO 818. It's 11:54 a.m. 6TUZ 868, 6FNH 220. License 6W, I can't really see that one, you can scratch that. 7XYX 993, 7XEJ 215, 8PVZ 843, 6783 handicap, I believe. 43, I can't really see that one. 60, I think I read that one already. I'm sorry, 49831C1, 7UJC149, 6GYS684, 8GWD995, 5MBT987, 6TUZ868, 8GJN689, crossing path at Sierra and Arrow at 11:56 a.m. That's where I'm at. 6N, can't really see that one. 6N MF981, 8VPE019, 8JLK013, 8R15412, 8XGV362, 8WDA755, 8NDX942, 9894. I can't really see that one. 7CTN019, 5NDG800, 8LEH978, 8GHN305. 7ZDM719, 7KYS186, 7BNH, I can't really see that one. 8RHN402, 7YGW561, 7SER385, 8NMJ222, 8VAG570. Alrighty, license plate 4BSK770, 7TQK213, 8PO9613, and I captured a second video. I captured one showing you Deputy Cooper, who was engaged in the same obsessive stalking. These are deputies that like to engage in, first of all, they're demon possessed, okay? But these are demons that I have particularly encountered while the entity was engaging in kidnapping. By the way, the same company that employee 3424 is working for, engaging in what is group stalking and monitoring, intimidation, threatening to engage in physical harm while you're stalking, and admitting as to what is the fact that you're a stalker by virtue of what are the as she's trying to insult me, all right, while she is creating audible activity. That's what you're focused on. That's what that demon is doing, and she's doing so with the deputies who are stalking the entity that's stalking by helicopter. The entity doing the same thing while it's engaging in kidnapping. The entity was stalking by helicopter while it was inside of the facilitating venue where Deputy Cooper is affiliated with the San Bernardino Sheriff's Department, Glen Helen Rehabilitation Center. The entity was stalking by helicopter, sounding helicopter activity inside of those venues, keeping directed light inside of those venues, and aiming what is keeping a light source directly over that venue, and would do so for the duration of the day while the entity was engaging in kidnapping me. All right, and again, that's the kidnapping that Officer Jay Burnett participated in, pursuant to what is criminal summoning by Tracy Banks. All right, this is documentation that is already published, and the entity is engaging in what is communicating a threat by the entity acting via Omnitrans that's engaged in that kidnapping. The Sheriff's Department crossing path, engaging in that pattern of conduct. The entity that engaged in that documented act of what is kidnapping while federal group stalking and monitoring is underway, demonstrating demon possession, engaging in what is participating in the pattern of conduct while they're monitoring, listening to every word that I utter. All right, and then you have what is Satan that wants to come and participate. That's what Amazon Prime engages in, okay? And they are engaging in with specific knowledge as everything is being documented. License 5PUX976 and 7WJS829. I'm showing you what is the fake sun that's over me at the same exact intersection where I was yesterday evening after 6 o'clock in the evening. All right, and that is the same exact intersection where the entity is keeping a fake sun, being in perfect alignment with me over my head, and being in a perfect alignment with me at that same intersection at around 6:15 p.m. That's when I captured that video, and I'm reminding you about what is 9 o'clock in the morning, Officer McMillan. He's a demon, and he's engaged in that criminal system, and that's exactly what, I documented Officer Cooper. She's a demon. She's engaged in assault. She's engaged in federal group stalking, monitoring demonic activity as it was underway inside of that state facilitating venue of Glen Helen Rehabilitation Center while she was engaged in kidnapping, and she's going to federal prison. And she's also going to, you're talking about what is worthy of federal prison, not just on that criminal conduct, but she is engaging in ongoing stalking. And that's exactly what's captured while that which is not the sun is over my head. Remember, as I'm coming from Rancho Cucamonga the other day, and the Fontana police are group stalking in front of the library, the light source is over my head, and I walk into the library, and that's where the entity keeps that fake sun. And then I exit hours later, and it remains over the library. It didn't go to the intersection. It's not remaining over that intersection. It's remaining over me while I'm standing there, which is impossible to go exist, for example, while on March 14th, while I just referenced other documentation of the entity keeping a fake sun over Mercy House, where I arrive at that intersection not until after 3 o'clock in the afternoon. But you have it over me at that same intersection where I have been for a prolonged period reading license plates. All right, the entity is keeping a light source over me. This is speaking to that demonic pattern of conduct. Everything that I'm capturing with regard to the entity stalking by helicopters, stalking by police officers, stalking by sheriff's departments, Los Angeles Sheriff's Department as well, when I'm in Pomona, and the entity engaging in what is this pattern of conduct while it's listening to every word that I'm documenting. That was a threat of physical harm by an entity. She's going to federal prison for that. And this is also these same people of the state who have engaged in what is kidnapping, and the entity intentionally engages in what is crossing path through those very kidnappers. The Sheriff's Department, even the specific one engaging in kidnapping at that venue, that's what Officer Cooper represents. It's occurring in the specific environment, not a coincidence either, okay? And that is, again, also the same intersection, by the way, where it is present after 6 o'clock in the evening as I'm showing you Amazon Prime flying over my head, stalking, as I'm capturing video of the Fontana police who are stalking while that light source remains in relevant position to me as I exit. After I've exited the Fontana Lewis Library, this is well after 6 o'clock yesterday. And I'm also showing you as early as 8:38, that same corner where I'm standing, 8:56 in the morning, documenting the light source directly over my head, just as you see right now as I capture that on video at 12 o'clock in the afternoon. This is maintenance, in other words, of a light source at all hours of the day. That's what that is. That's what that reveals. That's what is necessarily the case. And that's also what is impossible to naturally occur. While the entity is engaging in, again, stalking by police. And that's exactly what you're doing in that environment. And you're also engaging in what is a pattern of documented presence everywhere that I'm going in that specific environment, while the entity is engaging in what are incredible acts which are easily documented. You're stalking with regard to what is doing so by helicopters and following from city to city. Like I said, that is exceeding what is any possible coincidence, and there is no coincidence, and it's also not even reasonable to suggest. You're talking about what is years of the entity stalking in this way, and then also engaging in kidnapping, and then while kidnapped, engaging in this ongoing pattern of conduct. The entity was stalking by helicopter while in the facilities that you see these demon-possessed deputies driving by. Deputy Cooper, she is stalking one whom she has engaged in kidnapping before. She is monitoring my documentation while she's waiting for the time she's going to federal prison. All right, and so she's engaging in what is, first of all, demonic, and second of all, she's engaging in what is criminal with knowledge of every word that I am publishing and documenting and gathering about her criminal conduct, because I continue to document her as I'm documenting an entity, which is the case for by the case, what I mean is that is the same situation while you are documenting the government and you're documenting, for example, an entity. I am documenting, for example, the third party that is engaged in making a threat this morning and as the position of the people of the state. This is what this African-American female with a tattoo on her calf and driving a bus for a living while she's stalking somebody, and she's mad because she's being documented, and it's pathetic. While she's engaging in this conduct, I'm documenting her. All right, but she's acting as an entity. This is documentation of an entity that's engaging in surveillance, but that's serving for what is her custom-sized prosecution, if you will. She is threatening on behalf of the entity that is continuously engaged in that P.O.C. And so as I'm capturing what of the Sheriff's Department, this is the entity that engaged in kidnapping together. While the Sheriff's Department was engaging in kidnapping, transporting me to state facilitating venue at Rancho Cucamonga Superior Court, where the entity was at that time keeping a light source over that court while I remained there kidnapped for the day, from morning until afternoon, okay? The entity keeping that light source over that venue. Omnitrans was deviating from its published routes in order to engage in this stalking conduct. It is being present in the path, excuse me. And that's what they were doing on the roads and the highways, just as I've shown you while I'm riding on those buses. Okay, while now the Sheriff's Department are crossing paths while I'm on Omnitrans, for example, or while I'm in any other vehicle, or even on foot, as I documented right now. Now the Sheriff's Department are crossing paths while they are engaged in the criminal act of kidnapping by entity. This is exactly what's underway. This is what companies such as the people of the state acting via Omnitrans and Amazon Prime, as I've documented while kidnapped, and I documented license plates, tons of them, while the entity was engaged in an ongoing kidnapping by entity. While the entity was keeping a light source over the Sheriff's Department vehicle that I was inside of. The same exact conduct you're witnessing on Omnitrans, and this is the pattern of conduct that Omnitrans was engaged in while kidnapping was underway. The same Omnitrans that you hear uttering a threat of physical harm today, and then the Sheriff's Department showing the fact that they are still engaging in what is stalking and an impermissible threat with that entity that's threatening physical harm today, all of whom engaged in an ongoing kidnapping as an entity engaged in this demonic system as one, together. Okay, and at prosecution, you're talking about what is slicing down the prosecution of an entity that's engaging in that on behalf of a state. And so that is what you're understanding when you're looking at what is the light source that's directly over me. That's not the sun. I'm here at as early as 8:30 in the morning, 8:56 at that same exact corner where the Fontana Chamber of Commerce is. That's not the sun. That's going to be over that venue. And also, I just got here the other day coming from Rancho Cucamonga, DMV, where I documented the fake sun over me in Rancho Cucamonga, remaining over me. Regardless of the fact that today I got on Route 61, how is that even coexist? It's not going to be over the bus on Route 66, remaining street for street, turn for turn, but this is the entity engaging in that pattern. And then it is replete with what is stalking by helicopter. While the entity keeps its light source over me, it's already present over the Fontana Lewis Library as I arrive at 10:30 in the morning. It's not while the Sheriff's Department are group stalking at Arrow Boulevard and Sierra Avenue at 12 o'clock in the afternoon while it's right there over my head. It is not over the roof of the Fontana Lewis Library. It is not over the roof of the Fontana Lewis Library as it is on 9:34 a.m. where I'm documenting the United States Postal Service, that is the feds, engaging in this pattern of conduct, group stalking, surveillance, demonic activity. It's directly over my head. Following, again, now as I'm at the library, after 12 o'clock in the afternoon, this is where the light source is. I am documenting what is Stephanie, as you hear her engaging in the communication of an unlawful threat, obstruction of justice, targeted harassment, while she is monitoring, a demon monitoring. The helicopter stalking all night long, police departments, sheriff's departments stalking, that is documentation of what is Stephanie. That's the pattern of conduct. That's the criminal system that she is facilitating, that she is engaged in, while engaging in what is the show of a psychopath. All right, speaking to what is keeping quiet while she is a demon engaging in the maintenance of noise and engineered light for the duration of the times that I'm at the library. And that's exactly what I'm speaking to when I'm documenting her on my podcast while she's stalking. All right, and flashing directed light is behind her head. That's an unlawful threat. Okay, and that is also speaking to what is the grounds of federal prison. It is methods of targeting by that same government, using a bus driver, using an employee inside of a library to engage in what is harassment, to engage in what is intimidation, to engage in what are nothing other than criminal tactics of obstruction of justice. And it is speaking to that greater context that remains present. This is the government that's stalking. And that's why the entity is stalking by helicopter at the train station. That's why the entity is stalking by helicopter at the library. Okay, that's why the entity is following and stalking with helicopter where it is that I sleep. All right. So you were talking about what is speaking in concert with the demon-possessed police departments. You are engaging in speaking in concert and on behalf and targeting and harassing and engaging in sexual violence while you're stalking and monitoring in concert with these demon-possessed sheriff's deputies. Okay, who are fully surrounded with what is evidence. While I'm inside of the venue that you are working inside of, you're a demon, while that environment is being maintained and you are facilitating it and engaging in what is that harassment that you heard Stephanie engaging in. Okay, and again, engaging in what is unintelligent methods of making up a narrative that is false. Everything that I'm stating would have been on my podcast. There were no 5 incidents today. This is Satan making information up. In the same way that you heard today, Satan engaging in what is exposing that fury that it is trying to conceal while I'm documenting it. And you're going to federal prison for it. All right. That's not a bus driver who's discontented with her life. It is that. But the bigger picture is this is a demon who is hostile to being documented, engaging in what is unprecedented criminal activity on behalf and in concert with the government of a particular and very legally relevant condition, demon possession, in a demonic environment, all manner of what is an unlawful threat. All right. And everything that's coming out of her mouth is speaking to what is, first of all, out of the mouth. And let me just give you context, the mouth of a loser. All right. You're a tatted up, a bus driving, demon possessed stalker. All right. You're a loser in life and a loser in eternity. So let me just let Satan know that. But secondly, you have what is the entity that is engaging in what is monitoring through this minion. All right. Engaging in what is trying to be a distraction. Everything that's not a distraction. Everything that's coming out of her mouth is legally relevant. Everything. And that's Satan that's speaking. You're learning about what is demonic activity. All right. And you're talking about what are looking at different faces. They may be a different race, maybe a different age. You're dealing with the same entity. This is Satan. This is demon possession. It's demonic activity. And also with regard to what is criminal conduct. The entity that is the state of California is utilizing those who are under the age of majority to engage in sexually violent surveillance. Utilizing those who are of any position, acting both directly and vicariously to engage in what is the pattern of stalking in the path in that specific environment. Presence, period. You do not have a legal argument. You will be prosecuted while you are on the clock at work stalking in the path on behalf of the government. All right, and this is the structure of that system. So you are talking about what is in no way whatsoever any sort of excuse or release from being prosecuted and seen as, first of all, what are the demons who are now being stuck with what is the system that they constructed, entirely malicious, and you'll be prosecuted under that same malicious construct of that system. It is currently 12:16 p.m., and that is Satan that is all up in my mouth, trying to engage in insulting me. You can't insult me when you're stalking, Satan. And you lose. That is the entity engaging in what is the pattern of conduct. It's 12:17 p.m. and this is the fake sun that's now over, by the way, the Lewis Library, not over while I'm documenting the minions of Metrolink and the minions of the Sheriff's Department crossing path into that light source, which again, that's in conflict with what I just documented. While that minion, who I told he's going to federal prison, he's group stalking the Fontana police vehicle, the one that engaged in falsely citing law while he's exercising fictitious authority under that law, group stalking me and trying to engage in obstruction of justice. This is when I went to the DMV and I arrived here at 11:50 in the morning. The fake sun follows right, walks me right on into the library. The light source is not over the library while I'm showing you what is Deputy Cooper at the Fontana Chamber of Commerce at that intersection. Okay? The fake sun is right there over my head, which is the pattern of conduct that's underway, that what the Sheriff's Department are engaging in, and an impermissible threat while doing so, knowing exactly as I'm referencing the kidnapping that they were engaged in, that Omnitrans is citing a threat that's relevant to what is federal prison for that Omnitrans employee. The Deputy's Department, the Deputy Deputy Chapman and Maruejo, whatever that male's name, they're going to federal prison. All right, you're talking about what is ongoing knowledge. While demons engage in what they do it with specific knowledge, and that's also relevant to what is the sexual violence that they're engaging in private spaces. That's also relevant to what is crossing a path or engaging in activity creation while ongoing pattern of conduct. That's what Amazon Prime is doing. This is what you're witnessing. All right, that's P.O.C. It's demonic activity and it's serving that criminal purpose. And so that's understanding both of that. That's the intersection of that. Okay, it's currently 12:18 p.m. This is P.O.C. Already capturing the light source over me at the Fontana Lewis Library upon my entrance at the front doors of the library. And that is the presence of that light source. Again, that's not the case while I'm on Route 61 at 10:30 a.m. where I'm already documented my presence here, and the light source is right there over the same position it is right now as I'm arriving after 12 o'clock in the afternoon. All right, and you can clearly see that there is no question and there is no reasonable suggestion as to, oh, it's present over the roof at the same time. It's maintaining that presence. You can see it from the roof even though you're on the bus of Route 61 on 4th Street in Ontario. No, I don't think so. It's not remaining over the Ovid Family Community Library at 10:30 over the 280 North Lemon Apartments in alignment with that entrance while it's over the Fontana Roof Library. No, it's not. It is precisely maintaining presence over me. That's demonic. It's impossible. It's unnatural. It's not the conduct of the actual son. And this is relevant to what is criminal conduct of surveillance by government. It is, that's video that I captured. It is currently 12:21 p.m. This is a demon. She immediately goes on to speakerphone the moment I start recording. She was just engaging in what is gibberish, and now the phone's on speakerphone the moment I start recording. She's a demon, and she's stalking with audible activity. That's operation of a communication device, by the way, and it's in directed light. And this is the government that's stalking by police, sheriff's department, helicopters, planes inside of the bathroom. All right. And this is demonic activity. The moment that I press the screen, immediately just creating what is noise using that phone. And you're engaging what is creating audible activity. She's stalking with activity. And this is a demon that's engaging, making utterances. She's monitoring. And that's another demon entering the bathroom. This is demonic conduct inside of the private space. Crossing path going into the bathroom doors. And they're in directed light. The directed light where I showed you, I have double shadows of my single hand. And in directed light, which I've shown you the entity aiming through the depths of the library. And under the light source that remains over this venue for an excess of 10 hours, as I've documented before. It is over this venue right now. It's 3:59 p.m. This is the sex offender. This is the state of California, the people of the state and the state of California, the perpetual sex offender that is stalking in a bathroom. And this is demonic activity that's underway in a bathroom. And this is a minion who was not concerned with an actual conversation. She's using her voice to stalk with noise. And while that demon knows what I'm doing on my phone, began placing her phone on speakerphone. Okay? This is entirely demonic. It is 4 p.m. This is the same demonic activity I'm showing you at the museum. It's the same entity. This is P.O.C.
Somehow I'm trying to finish my homework and finish my semester. Why do they care about what I'm doing? I don't know. They just playing games with me, trying to, and then but the one last time told me that they're playing with the one from church and the other one on the other side.
That is serving audible activity. The library is monitoring in the bathroom.
No, I get them making comments about it. No, they're just playing games with me. It's not true. No. They're playing games with both of them. But those are the two places that I hang out all the time. Then I go to different libraries and they follow me. Then I go home and they're doing. Yeah, and I'm crazy because I don't want to sleep around. Well, how is that going to solve my problems? My economic problems, money problems, by sleeping around with different men? That's the solution. The solution is to work. And then I'm going to school. They're making fun of me. No, I'm used to it, so I don't pay attention to them. No, I think, yeah, that's what it is. watching TV. Everything they're watching TV.
This is operation of a communication device and audible activity in directed light while the entity is patrolling around the bathroom. And this is a demon. The same demonic activity you witnessed by the police department, by the sheriff's department, by the entity in helicopter. This is how the government is sexually violating, engaging in surveillance in the private space. And it's 4:03 p.m. This is a psychopath. Not actually concerned about the substance of the conversation, it's audible activity. And this is a demon that's focused on another while they are creating the elements of monitoring. That's demonic conduct. And it's sexually violent. This is predatory in the bathroom where the government has no business. Has no business whatsoever. And that's exactly what this meaning represents.
This one made me afraid. You know, Satan works by fear. No, I'm not afraid.
And this is the minion that you see that was molesting with directed light inside of the computer lab, and then Stephanie comes and engages in what is harassment, entering into the women's restroom, and that's a man entering the women's restroom. Also a sex offender in that regard.
Yeah. Oh, okay. No, it's the same bread, you know, the same, yeah, mafia or whatever they are. Yeah, that's how they do it. Yeah, that's how they do it. No, they're lying. That guy, this one, they're lying. Because that guy who doesn't like me said so. Yeah, he's got a daughter. Is he felt sorry for me? I don't know. Yeah. Yeah.
This is surveillance in a bathroom. This is the sex offender.
Oh, no, I haven't done it yet. Because it's so happy.
Remember, directed light, the light source over the venue, audible activity. This is P.O.C. And they're patrolling outside of the bathroom and going in and out of the men's restroom where that minion should have went. There's a man dressed like a woman. Also a sex offender accosting and molesting with directed light, as I documented yesterday in the computer area. And now in the women's restroom engaging in ongoing sexual violence. It's 4:05 p.m.
Yeah, what I do is I just leave.
And I'm referencing the he, she with the blonde bob, wig, whatever that is. Clearly captured in inside of Fontana Lewis Library yesterday. As a sex offender.
Yeah. Yeah, it's the same bread, you know, or neck, however you want to call it. The same game played the same way. Yeah. No, that's why it doesn't surprise me. I just repent. I don't know what's going on, you know. I just go along with it, you know. Yeah, I just think that it's a joke.
That's amplified audible activity.
I make jokes about it because they got the microphone in my car.
These are demons stalking in bathroom stalls. This is how pathetic the demon-possessed population is.
But like it's too hard.
Stalking by police, stalking by helicopters, stalking in airplanes, stalking wherever it is that I sleep, and stalking in bathroom stalls.
I don't know. I just got better things to do than they do. And I guess they get paid for it. That little people, they get paid, but the other ones that are in the higher range deal, you know. Yeah. Yeah, I'm doing the same thing. And they know where I am because of the
It's 4:07 p.m. And this is also documented on water surveillance cameras when you're looking at relevant positioning outside of the bathroom. And this is ongoing surveillance that they're engaged in together on behalf of the state.
Yeah, I already told the school and I already told the church, so I pretty much know what's going on. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I don't need to. They know. That's the names. It's like I could write a novel with a lot of stories, you know. I mean, jokes of it and put it in science fiction mode and you know what I mean, joke, just make jokes on I don't know, maybe I just put it in science fiction comedy mode, just manage comedy mode, I don't know. Yeah. No. They can use both of them. I can use that down. What is it that high? Mom said it's over. So you can try one too. Yeah. Oh no, not yet. I got to no. Yeah. I have to deal.
This is pacing back and forth in directed light. And you can see the shadow, there's a shadow reaching underneath the sink and then a shadow that's going behind the sink. They have double shadows while this demon, this he-she demon is pacing in the bathroom and is a sex offender. Again, this is the same one that was stalking with Stephanie while they were molesting with directed light while sitting at the computer yesterday. He's now in the bathroom engaging in sexual violence. This conversation is sexual violence. It's monitoring and surveillance in the bathroom. Understand that. And this is a psychopath. Immediately used her phone on speaker while you're listening to what's television, just its noise, while she's stalking with activity. That's demonic. All right? And this is in directed light. This is sexual violence. Understand what is criminal monitoring. And it's 4:10 p.m. And this is also facilitation of sexual violence while Fontana Lewis Library is monitoring and is a facilitating venue where ongoing surveillance by the state is underway. Maintaining presence in a bathroom stall and in operation of a communication device while other demons are pacing in and out in relevant position. This is sexual violence, all right, on behalf of the government. It's currently 4:11 p.m. That's a psychopath. This is what the entity is doing together in concert as one. And what you see in video, this is what I want you to tie together to what you need to understand. This demon that's in a bathroom stall creating the elements of monitoring in concert with the rest of the entity is the same demon possession. This is the condition where you're seeing them walking at nightfall at the museum and you're seeing a shadow that is literally separated from that third party. That is a demon-possessed stalker. That is the same condition of this one that's in a bathroom stall, engaging in ongoing surveillance of another. And it's a psychopath who is not concerned about a conversation, using it as a means to stalk someone else. That's demonic, and it is entirely psychopath. And this is sexual violence. That's what you're listening to. And this is Fontana Lewis Library. All right, and this is the posture of that entity that's stalking by helicopters. They're also stalking in bathroom stalls. That includes the Ontario Police, the Fontana Police, the San Bernardino, the same entity you saw stalking. All right, the entity that you see under the fake sun today at the Metrolink train station engaging in what is trying to offend me while she's engaged in what is concerned about what's in my panties while they're stalking in the bathroom. This is called patrolling in that private space. And it is currently 4:12 p.m. It's amplified audible activity, hearing water cycling through the walls while minions are maintaining presence in the bathroom, stalking in the path. Amplified audible activity. Patrolling in directed light. And it's 4:13 p.m. All right, this is all occurring in what is directed light, which is impossible light activity, normal lights, and a normal light fixture, light bulb does not create multiple shadows. Okay, this is directed light in the bathroom. I've documented this at Ovid Family Community Library. It's the same P.O.C. You have what is the maintenance, a demon literally just crouching in a bathroom stall, just maintaining ongoing activity and operation of a communication device. And that demon immediately uses that phone to stalk with audible activity as I start recording. That's what you're listening. Pay attention to that. That's what that demon was doing. And then you have the other demons that enter in, and they're patrolling, they're monitoring, they're engaging in that demonic activity inside of the bathroom. That's just inside, because outside the men's restroom, they're patrolling around. Those that are in relevant position, and they're on surveillance cameras doing that. This is the sexual violence of the government engaging in surveillance in this private space. And those demons that are walking beside multiple shadows on the wall, as you see them at the Ontario Museum, flying around, sounding sirens, stalking at night, 3:45 in the morning. This is what the entity is doing in the bathroom. It's the exact same entity. That is the conduct of the perpetual sex offender. That is the prosecution of the government. I'm still documenting what is that sex offender that was engaging in threats of physical harm this morning. That entity is stalking in a bathroom right now. It is not separate. It's ongoing P.O.C. on behalf of the state of California. It's currently 4:15 p.m. and this is in what is directed light inside of the bathroom. That's the sex offender capturing what is the demonic inside of that private space. 4:15 p.m. and this is P.O.C. (6WNJ588) 7FOS033 7VYM377 8DWS487 6J57118 8TJE978 7SFX232 8VCW683, and it's currently 4:56 p.m. Your license HB224 handicap 5FUM443 8DRJ476 99558Y1 BM30C10, that's paper 6TDB953 3KHK597 6FHW138 7VVH550 6 6FTD 188. Um, 8GEZ327, 4TIY565, 7ZXV504, 8ZDG944, 8KYY933, 7UJC149, 8YIS561. I understand I'm identifying minions, the entity that is engaging in monitoring while that demon is crouching in a bathroom stall, just maintaining presence and ongoing audible activity. These sex offenders are monitoring on communication devices. It is indeed sexual violence that's underway while an entity is engaged in invasion of privacy inside of a bathroom, conducting what is surveillance conduct with the government. 7TRB775, 8KOJ001, 8YAG380, 7MPR477, 7XMG385, 5VBX986, 6HTX537, 8HSX537, 6HTN809, 5TPC255, 7KLM135, 6VMX313, 51744M2, 5RTR198, 7CPK197, 61674E2, 8WYX034, 47143H3, 8WQW407, 92899V2, 8ZIN099, 91541Y1, 5EQS442, 6YAD392, 7XDC705, 8RFH006, 7WOY900, 7LKA170, 5KDL616, in case I didn't read that one, 8HRG372, 8RGV637, 8JBP196, 8FAF329, 7XQG956, 7ZDG041, 8VDM797, 7TOP790, 7FVW092, 7EE4485, that's the Maryland, that's the demon whose license plate I documented yesterday while she's crossing path at the same venue, 8KJS601, yeah, I think I read 8GEZ327 already. $8LUL189, 6RIN027, 8AGR969, license 6CPN955, 6ZRD770, 8HJJ727, 8ZKB426, 21568L2. And that would be Metrolink, identifying that company. It's amplified audible activity. The same that the entity is doing inside of a bathroom, for example, sounding what's supposed to be water. You're supposed to attribute that, oh, you know, you can hear the toilets flushing through this bathroom. That's what that's supposed to be the explanation of. It's amplified audible activity in the same way that Metrolink is the guise of what is amplified audible activity. It's demonic. While these demons whose license plate I'm writing, they're engaged in surveillance in the parking lot. And the light source is present over the same Fontana Chamber of Commerce where I'm present here at again, 8:56 in the morning, 9 o'clock in the morning. The entity is maintaining this light source, and this is where it is right here at 5:01 p.m., which I've also captured before, and I referenced that if you look at my YouTube channel. As I often give reminders when you're looking at what I'm documenting, remember what I documented at another place or at the same time, or how long it's been there from the morning until evening, etc. And I documented 5:02 p.m. at the same exact parking lot, 8WYX034, excuse me. And this is where the people are engaging in surveillance, and these are sex offenders that are engaging in surveillance in bathrooms as well. That's exactly what I documented. That's what you're listening to. And it's amplification of audible activity, and that is Metrolink engaged in the P.O.C. in that regard. It's currently 5:02 p.m. BON360, Now, what you'll pay attention to is after I walked out of the bathroom and I captured what was, that is sexual violence by the government engaging in surveillance in a private space and doing it via the people who are demons engaging in this demented and sexually predatory pattern of conduct. You have what is the image of the light source, which I captured while I'm at the back of the library. That is the back that's facing Sierra. It is in alignment with what is that window that is not at the corner of Sierra and Arrow Boulevard. The light source, again, as I captured on video at 5:02 p.m. is at the Chamber of Commerce in perfect alignment with me where I stand on the sidewalk. That is precise maintenance of alignment of that light source in alignment with me, which is with regard to the presence, to the pattern of conduct. And it is also understanding what is the maintenance of the light source in the same position that I capture as while I'm showing you the demons of the San Bernardino Sheriff's Department at 11:57. This is 12 p.m. This is 5 hours later, and this is in the same position, aiming light into the same onto the same property, over in a perfect alignment with me while I am at the same address. All right, this is the entity engaging in conduct such that wherever it is that I am at, the entity is engaging in conduct such that the sun is perpetually in alignment with where I am, no matter how north or south or how far east or west I go. But with regard to what is north and south, the entity is engaging in keeping that fake sun in alignment with me at whatever location on Sierra Avenue that I'm at. And that's why it's in alignment while I'm inside of the library. And then as I exit and I'm at the Fontana Chamber of Commerce, and that's less than 30 minutes ago, it's right here at the same intersection, by the way, where it was this morning when I'm showing you the demons of the San Bernardino Sheriff's Department, particularly Deputy Cooper, who likes to engage in a pattern of stalking, as I have specifically referenced and reminded you about as well. Look at my YouTube channel. She was documented engaging in molestation, group stalking, in doing so on January 7, 2022 in direct light, as I documented at 6 p.m. at the same Fontana Chamber of Commerce. License 6AJG096, stalking with light in the path, 8FLH003, 5VYS509, 1524555, I believe. But that's the San Bernardino Sheriff's Department crossing path as they're listening to me document them. They're doing so under the fake sun, and that's federal prison for them. 8M12480, and they are sex offenders in that regard. They're also engaged in surveillance in the bathroom. All right, and this minion 6AJG096 is monitoring with the Sheriff's Department, who is crossing path. This is light activity creation. What are you doing? Who are you barking at? No, I don't think so. No, you're not. No, you're not. For what? For what? Because I'm holding my phone? And you're sitting on the side of the road, so what? Okay, that's license plate 6AJG096. That's a minion asking a question that he knows the answers to. I'm documenting him. All right, like I said, and he's monitoring with the minion that's on the bike. So let me give you some more close-up evidence of these demons under the fake sun, engaging in what is harassment, talking about what are you doing? I'm documenting you. And they're under what is the fake sun that's at the same intersection they're monitoring with the Sheriff's Department. All right, understand that while he's engaging in what is harassment. You go to federal prison for that. All right, this is an ignoramus. 5XZK763, there's a female driving that vehicle. All right, and this conversation with the minion on the bike, that is, they're both monitoring together, and the Sheriff's Department speeds by. Let me make sure I get this. Alrighty, that is P.O.C. Again, license 6AJG096, that's facilitation, and then harassment by the entity while you document them. License plate 7HDD902, license 6GVT370, 21568L2, and it's 5:06 p.m. I captured a series of images. Again, that's the entity that's speaking. That's the entity that's stalking. That's the entity that's engaging in facilitation. That's the entity that's engaging in that conduct. That's a sex offender and threatening physical harm while you're documenting them. You go to federal prison for that. 57898Z2. And that is also the entity that is a psychopath. You're engaging in what is a bad act. It's unpersuasive. And you're talking about what is the mindset of somebody that's engaging in this conduct and then wants to engage in what is, first of all, hostility while you're enforcing your rights. That which is known as to be wrong and weird. But not only that, you're sitting up trying to act like you don't know what's going on. That's a psychopath. You're going to federal prison for that. 5VQD690, 5XGB713, 61654E3, 8ZUX822. License plate 6WOF796, 8JIJ578, 8ZJG256, 7JLR057, R736PO, 7YGR671, 7KHH966, 17102T1, 8FMH536. 7PEX 047, 7KKN 080, 8KYR 792, license 98150D1, I believe. Directed light while they're turning the corner. This is facilitation 8KYR 792, and it's also a demon. Demons do that. 7UI, I read that one. 8, I can't really see that one. I can't see that one. I'll see that one in a second. 6PJA 197. Sheriff's Department is 1419775. 8WNB 598, 8WAT 220, 8GKU 075, 7JAW 997. All right, and that is again the Sheriff's Department engaging in what is that pattern of conduct? It's pathetic. It is currently 5:08 p.m. and they're crossing paths under the same fake sun that was at the same intersection as I documented Deputy Cooper, and that was 3 of them. There was 2 that I captured in the first video at 11:57 a.m. and then the entity engages in what is monitoring on my phone, cutting short that video. All right, I was still recording. That's why it was only 27 seconds long, and that was the criminal conduct of that's the act of monitoring, by the way. And it was pursuant to what immediately sounded, which is sirens. This is criminal summoning by the fire station number 71, San Bernardino County Fire Department. While you see Deputy Cooper, she's looking like she's so cool, calm, relaxed, like she doesn't care, like she doesn't get, but they're engaging in the P.O.C. trying to stop me from recording it. That's what you're paying attention to based on, with regard to the personality of Satan. It's a psychopath. 6GDZ737, 7MTM104. So while she's looking like she's eating potato chips, like she could give a good God whatever about it, that's not the case, first of all. Second of all, this is surrounding that entity with what is evidence, and I'm going to prosecute it, and she's going to federal prison. But third of all, the reality is that they immediately engaged in what is activity creation and cut short that video that I was still recording. But that's why I captured a second one seconds later, and that was a third deputy, and this is a demon. These are the demons of the deputy, of the San Bernardino County Sheriff's Department, who are monitoring, engaging in this demonic activity. And so that's at 11:57 a.m., 11:59 a.m., and documentation as to what is, first of all, where I'm at right now, and this is where the light source. As I captured that this morning, evidence already exists with regard to what is not the sun that's over me while they're engaging in what is demonic activity. With knowledge of the fact that you're being documented, that is federal. That is an additional federal crime. It is an enhancement. While American citizens shall be documenting and enforcing their rights, and you're talking about what is federal prison for those demons, those particular types of demons who want to engage in threatening you and intimidating you. All right? That's what the Sheriff's Department is engaging in, and they're demons in that environment. And this is the light source that's over the same intersection while they're pacing around, crossing paths, while they listen to me speak about their criminal activity. 8ZVN 656, 8XCD 832. And this is license plate 22P1407. That's a demon. Again, 22P1407. They're so pathetic. That is how scared they are. 22P1407, 7UDN517, 8RZB026. And let me be clear, you can't hear those motorcycles inside of the Fontana Lewis Library. That's called amplification. And that demon that is monitoring is paying close attention to me, and you hear what is, again, activity creation as I'm documenting their license plates. Alrighty? What does revving your engine do with regard to somebody that's reading a license plate, which is, first of all, it's on the outside of your vehicle. It's public information. All right? Everything that I'm showing you is with regard to what is not, I've already shown you that, but even what these demons do is revealing consciousness of guilt. Fear, okay? You're talking about what, and how does Satan engage in what is showing fear? That demonic activity you saw last night, which is going to your own demise. You're going to federal prison. You're going to be locked up in cages. All right? You're showing what a threat you are to the public, what a threat you are in society, let loose, all right, as the closeted psychopaths they are. That's applying to the police department. There is no exception, and there will be no respecter of any type of demons that are engaging in what is criminal conduct. All right? So you're talking about what is the entity engaging in what is activity creation while I read that license plate, which you can still hear. That's a demon that's engaging in what is monitoring conduct while I'm documenting, knowing the significance of my looking at that license plate, because I'm going to prosecute you. You know exactly what I'm documenting. All right, 7NOY582-28463Y1, 8JJV038, 6ZAX. I can't really see the rest of the one. You can scratch that. 5GDH380. 7TJU766, 6Y74949, 2088 8G3, 8TBY570, 8HCK323. Yeah, I read that one. License 8PIM718, 8YGY022, 72464J3, 6JPM693, 6VKC189, 8PZB055, 8TOH672. Group stalking over here at the Casa Barreto property venue, 8VHK127. 7CRU901, and this is all patrolling. They're all pacing around in front of that property, which is where I'm standing, but you're parking in front of it, sitting in their vehicles, they're lining the path, they're stalking, and this is what they do in bathrooms. They're maintaining presence, and they engage in maintaining presence in bathrooms, stalking in bathrooms, engaging in activity creation in bathrooms to accomplish what is demonic and what is serving monitoring purposes with a government. 7 SPU 982, you shall be prosecuted as a very violent sex offender. All right. And then while you are being a sex offender, acting irate because you're being documented as a sex offender, what you are doing is the definition of sexually violent and entirely demented, predatory, sexually motivated. OK, you're talking about what is absolutely perverted, the ways in which they're, and you're talking about what is a psychopath, an absolute psychopath. 1545806. And that is, I'm speaking to it in the singular because you're dealing with what is an entity. You're dealing with demon possession. All right, and you're talking about what is a demon possession that is amongst a group that are engaging in concerted criminal activity. 4GXY205, 7SXY601, and demon possession. Okay, the spirit of Satan itself is manifesting differently in different people. So you're looking at a different face, a different personality, the same condition, which is demon possession. 8PEV351. All right, but you're dealing with the same entity. Okay, license 5J08-364, and that is with regard to not only the state as you're documenting federal group stalking and monitoring on behalf of the state, it is also with regard to understanding demonic activity. You're dealing with the same entity, you're dealing with Satan. All right, so it's currently 5:14 p.m. 7TDH532. And Satan is a delusional psychopath. As you hear from the audible activity that they create while they are surrounded by evidence, which they cannot intelligently respond to in court, Satan reduces itself to what is trying to efforts to point the finger at you and call you crazy, insult you, offend you in any way that they can, with regard to what is avoiding what is a pattern of conduct that they are engaged in. 8FQW032. And even that is grounds for what shall be a prosecution. It's relevant to what is harassment and terrorism. 8DGF416, 6NCJ504, 8NMH619, 8KUR740, 8RRC207, 8XXY535, 8EBE444, 7GZP715, 7817X handicap. HXY944, 5GPF991, and 6RUG187. Engaging in surveillance, group stalking in their vehicle at Chirp's Cocktails, where you saw directed light on that building last night while the entity was stalking in 2 helicopters and commercial airline planes right here as I stood on the sidewalk across from Chirp's Cocktails at Village at Sierra. She's engaged in surveillance, and the people are engaged in surveillance while they're inside of the venue of the bar. Okay, you're stalking on behalf of the state, maintenance of presence on behalf of the state. That's called surveillance. And a government is doing it through people who are remaining present around you at all times, all the time. Doing so by being at work, doing so by hanging out at the club in relevant position, doing so by going to the library all day, studying whatever it is you're doing for your class, your group stalking and surveillance on behalf of the government. License 5UUB392. 52425H3, 8MKN423, 7BIZ878, 7BTZ878. 8EFP881, 6XHV580, 7NKZ463, 8JXV674, 5UKL842, 7JWH744-5VGX. Can't see the rest of the one. 6Y05219, 8RZF336. And it's 5:17 p.m. 8HMA 876. 8ZJC 669. 7MMN 884. 7JXS 555. 7NJL 166, crossing path entering into third-party facilitating venue, the Pupuseria Chalet, inside of the plaza at Sierra, at 8689 Sierra Avenue. License 7NJL 166, I read that one, 95090Y1, FZ023, handicap, and that is again 7MMN 884, monitoring with Pupuseria El Chalet, that's a venue. Crossing path to go in there. They're stalking in the path by entering into what is a facilitating venue and engaging in surveillance. Stalk group stalking there. License plate 8XOF209. And this is the same venue, 8689 Sierra Avenue, where I'm here at 9 o'clock in the morning and I'm documenting, well, before 9 o'clock in the morning, and I'm documenting the third party Castañeda, all right, who is a sex offender engaging in molestation with directed light. And I stood here and I documented till after 10 o'clock in the morning, where the entity on that day was also stalking by helicopter, if you recall. And the fake sun is over me in that same manner right now at 5:19 p.m. 7LQS 697, all right, and that is under no circumstances 8EBE 444, the sun. All right, that's the pattern of conduct, and with regard to that, with Castañeda and the plaza at 8689 Sierra Avenue in Ontario, I am at what is Sierra Avenue in Orange Way. That's where I'm at right now, and it's 5:19 p.m. The entity engaging in what is the maintenance of the light source, remember, into the depths of the Fontana Lewis Library Monday through Thursday, because I'm there after this time. After 6 p.m. That's not the sun. License 8SBZ634, D2319 handicap, 7PNZ 696. No, you go ahead. License 8VLR007. Go ahead. License 8HZJ970. And at the Fontana Metrolink train station, which again, this is the same, I mean, it's not the same property. It's obviously got a different address, but you're talking about what is the same location, okay? The Fontana Metrolink train station, which is across the street, where I was, by the way, this morning, as I captured at 11:05 a.m. The fake sun is remaining here. It's 5:20, all right? This is how you're understanding what is a P.O.C. And then you have what is understanding what are stalkers, and like, you're looking at the environment, and then you're looking at what they're doing, and it's entirely demented. But you can see that through what the demons that are stalking around with directed light all over the place under a light source, and that is just, you're awaiting for what is a prosecution for that sort of sex offender. That is one that has not yet been contemplated by federal law, and that's exactly what I'm advocating, and that's why I document what is the sexual violence by the state of California inside of bathrooms. All right, while they're engaged in that obsessive stalking, and you see those demons that are stalking in the bathroom, they're stalking where it is that I sleep, where a government is maintaining ongoing hovering stalking activity around me by planes and helicopters, and demons pacing around in engineered light while their shadows are walking in front and behind them, which is why you also document, because that's not going to be mistaken as some mental health issue that I have. That's the lying state. All right, the lying entity that would like to falsely depict one alleging it. I documented it so you can see that satanic conduct. Those demons are stalking in bathrooms and stalking me in helicopters. Yeah, you're going to federal prison for that. Yes, you're going inside of cages in straitjackets. You are. License 29920F2, 8YDY953, 4KLR348, 7BCT225. Engaging in that demonic activity. Understand that it's not only serving the elements of monitoring. And I'm referencing the video that you're looking at that I published this morning at 12:27 a.m. This is entirely demonic. This is a stalker. They're focused on me. The entity is amplifying plane activity while this demon is crossing path. And if you'll pay attention, they're in the dark. They kept the lights on me on that side of the library, excuse me, not the library, on that side of the museum, and turned the lights off on that side, but yet you're seeing what is a shadow, a very vivid, rich, dark shadow that's moving not in step with the body that is moving. This is demonic activity. You're actually looking at what is the personification of Satan, and you're looking at what's supposed to be a shadow, but you're paying attention, that's not a shadow. And that is intended to, that's terrorism. That's a terrorizing scene. As terrorizing as what is light on a ceiling, okay? Light just sitting there above you, light creating multiple shadows, all right? Light touching all over your body. That's a terrorizing scene. That's what I captured. Those demons are the ones stalking in bathrooms, and those demons are the ones flying helicopters over my head. Those demons are the ones stalking in Amazon Prime airplanes. 7ETA 748. This is demonic activity. There is no exception. These are the demons that are stalking around, sounding sirens, being absolute psychopaths 24 hours a day. You saw them, Ontario Police Department. Those are demons. Okay, and you're looking at that conduct, and you need to understand that's exactly what's wrong with every single last one of them. They have the spirit of Satan on them, and you can see it in that environment, that shadow conduct. Pay attention to that. I published that for your education and also for the prosecution of the people. This federal group stalking and monitoring is absolutely satanic. It's not just criminal. It's not just interstate stalking in violation of existing federal law. It is that which a demon-possessed population, because it's an entire government. It's a comprehensive system with the people of the state, whatever state that you're in. That's just nothing other than, by the way, a nomenclature for which a legal framework in order that one may prosecute in the form of a federal court. That's all that is. What it means is every single last person is of that same condition. Satan has many, many minions, and they are all engaging in this criminal conduct together. It's demonic, but it is also that which may be criminalized. And it is part of what is the agenda of Satan. And you are understanding what is very real with regard to what is Satan. I've shown it to you in the directed light. You're seeing these demons, and that's exactly what they are, sitting in the county building with light above their heads. Light just, and light from, I've showed you what is patches of directed light just sitting above your head. You're witnessing the demonic. There are a bunch of demons. Those demons have no business stalking in the bathroom, and that's exactly what they're doing. Engaging in the elements of monitoring, deriving pleasure from what is sexually violent, deriving pleasure from violating another, from harassing another. This is the conduct, this is the personality of Satan. You need to understand that this is the ongoing motive of the people of the state, and every single last one, including the company Omnitrans. Omnitrans represents the people of the state. I'm just giving you an example. Omnitrans represents the people of the state. They're being documented while I'm in a bathroom subject to that pattern of conduct inside of that private space, where Omnitrans is a part of that ceaseless pattern of conduct as well. You're inside of the bathroom stalking, you're outside of the bathroom stalking, you're being documented as an entity on an ongoing basis in the same way that they are stalking and monitoring on an ongoing basis. While they are literally crouching in bathroom stalls, demons coming in and out of a bathroom in directed light, maintaining presence, going in to use the bathroom in order to engage in stalking. Let me be clear, it is not, I don't care about what is actually the call of nature and whatnot, or what is not. There are demons creating audible activity while they're using the bathroom, while they're using the toilet, while they're in there using their phones, while they're walking in and out, closing the door. They're stalking with activity, they're monitoring. All right, and that's why you're looking at, I'm showing all these videos of the entities stalking by helicopter. That government is stalking me in the bathroom through those demons that are present. License 25267E2 7BW8073. And you're talking about, again, like I stated, I am revealing to you what is nothing other than the delusional psychopath. They are going to federal prison. You are not going to remain free and about engaging in that sort of lawlessness, that sort of reprehensible sexual violence and unconstitutional conduct of any position, not of law enforcement, not just being some free willy demon on the streets to engage in that sort of surveillance, satiating your sexual appetite for what is entirely demented and which would ordinarily be that which is concealed. Any ordinary sex offender can engage in this. The demon possessed, understand, it's entirely demented and sexually violent. All right, so this is bringing to the surface a lot of conduct that you are ordinarily unaware of, in the ways in which you are being violated by those who have the spirit of Satan. The demon possessed manifest light. That's a supernatural act. They're manifesting light. They're not holding up their fingers going hocus pocus. As they are crossing paths with the one that they are targeting, light is appearing. That is the act of the demon possessed. The demon possessed engaged in what is the conduct of what is amplified audible activity. That's why you have, for example, the company Burtech. Those demons aren't emptying dumpsters and creating an earthquake inside of the library. All right, that's an act of a demon-possessed person. And engaging in what is targeting another with their conduct that they're engaging in, emptying a dumpster and harassing me while I'm inside of the building, separate from them. The dumpsters aren't connected to the building. A dumpster touching the building is not going to create an earthquake. Nothing about the sound of the truck is going to create an earthquake. Nothing about that. is naturally occurring or possibly occurring whatsoever. It is the act of the demonic. You've heard what are the motorcycles inside of the library. I recorded that on podcast. It's very real. You can hear it, but it is impossible the fact that you are hearing that. You are witnessing the demonic. I am capturing the demonic for you. This demon that's at the Ontario Museum, and their shadow is walking behind them, okay? Their shadow is appearing when it's all dark. There's no light over there on the side of that museum. You're witnessing what is the demonic. I'm capturing it for you. All right, and I'm not just capturing it for you, but I'm capturing it because I'm going to prosecute. The verbiage that I'm using, the terminology that I'm applying is very precise. When I say demon, that's exactly what I mean. That's exactly what it is. It's not just a matter of my meaning it, because somebody can mean something and be absolutely wrong, okay? This is a matter of what is exactly what I am describing to you, and the evidence is showing it to you. It is right in your face. You're looking at the light activity. You're witnessing demon possession. You're witnessing a stalker that is of that condition, monitoring me and stalking me at 12 o'clock in the morning. And it is not different at 3:45 in the morning, where the demons of the Ontario Police Department are doing the same thing. They're stalking. Everything that they are doing is based on me, to harass me, focus on me, follow me, monitor me. All right, and that is the inferiority. That is the pathetic posture. They're stalking in bathrooms. They're stalking wherever it is. If I'm sleeping in a car, guess where they are? They're stalking, maintaining, hovering presence around a car. If I'm sleeping outside, they're stalking, hovering, maintaining presence all around wherever it is that I'm outside. If I'm in a hotel room, they're stalking, maintaining presence, hovering, maintaining, and cycling all around me in whatever hotel room. Not just the building, the hotel room. This is what the government is doing, and this is exactly what I've documented. Stalking, obsessive level stalking. This is terrorism. Everything that you heard in that bathroom is serving what are demons who are stalking, obsessively stalking. You will go to federal prison for such what I am documenting now. It is grounds of federal prison. The entity engaging in it, the entity engaging in what is ongoing defiance to what shall be legislation binding this conduct. You're talking about what is a lot of people, as a matter of establishing precedent, that are going to federal prison. The government, those that are affiliated with companies engaged in group stalking, those demons that are pulling with their children, engaging in the pattern of conduct, just engaging in threatening the life of another just in plain sight while you got your newborn baby in your arm, you'll be going to federal prison. All right? So like I said, this is the reality of that system, 233-71K3, engaging in an ongoing life in the state of California while you're engaged in surveillance with the government. You shall not engage in the threatening of the life of another. And while Satan listens to me, while, again, those demons of the San Bernardino Sheriff's Department, while I'm documenting, they're going to federal prison, right? You're engaging in defiance to your own demise. You are going to federal prison. You're also going to federal prison because you're kidnappers, all right? And you're violent sex offenders, all right? But they're going to federal prison while they want to further engage in that conduct. While you're listening because you're a defiant demon, you're going to federal prison for that. All right, this is what the government shall not be permitted to do. Stalking by helicopters. They are not hiding behind any sense of anonymity whatsoever. I don't have to see the face. The ordinary target individual is not belabored with some task to see the face, know the name of somebody who's stalking you in a helicopter. No, that's not what's going on. That's not what's going to happen. That is actually an impossible and an unjust requirement. That's not even a requirement. That's ridiculous. As ridiculous as this fake sun. All right, the entity is keeping you surrounded. This is acts of the demonic, acts of the demon possessed, engaging in what is a system that is never supposed to be, first of all, perceived, never known of. But then second of all, you're talking about what is the ability in order to make justice accessible to any and every American citizen, whether you went to college or not. It doesn't matter what your economic status is, honey. I was practicing law. Stalkers following me around while I'm an attorney, a practicing attorney, all right, harassing me on the job, all right, engaging in harassing me by what you're paying me, harassing me while I can't even sit at a desk without you engaging and following me to the bathroom, following me when I'm going on my breaks. And then you've got law enforcement following me around from city to city as I'm going to courthouses, all right. This is an unlawful threat. This is what you're subject to, and it is directly affecting your ability to provide for yourself. You're talking about what is resulting from that very criminal conduct, 8 LHT 471. There is in no way whatsoever, and this is what I'm saying with regard to a criminal prosecution, civil proceedings follow. The prosecution of the state of California and the prosecution of the people of the state of California. Who shall pay? Companies engaging in group stalking, you're going to drain their pockets. All right, it is that large of a crime, and justice requires that large of a response. It is mandatory. It is necessary as a matter of justice. And this is not about getting money, even though, I mean, it's not that it's unjust or that it's some wrong position that it may be about some amount of money, but this is exceeding that. What I'm telling you, this is exceeding that. This is absolute evil and twisted wickedness. And you're going to approach it in every way feasible. And in any way that it's not feasible, where it's necessary as a matter of justice, you're going to make it feasible. All right. And so you're going to make it accessible to any American citizen. And so this is what the government is continuously engaging in while you're surrounded with evidence that you're going to be prosecuted with, while you want to continue stalking. That's relevant to the ways in which or how long you're going to spend in federal prison. OK, because you're going to federal prison. It's a matter of how long, and by your conduct, you are demonstrating the threat that you intend to wage, that you continue to wage, that you derive pleasure from raising. You belong in a cage, and that's exactly where you're going to go. License 5FWS561. It is not different with regard to the multitudinous demons that are the people of the state of California. All right, they are not so numerous that they will not be met with what is justice and a just response to their concerted criminal activity on behalf of a government. You are directly posing that threat to the life while the entity is flying over the American citizen's head with helicopters and stalking, swirling all around them by demon-possessed police officers and sheriff departments. And you're stalking in the path. Think you could sit in the traffic lane next to them, staring at your phone, monitoring, and you're not going to pay a consequence for that? That's what I mean by delusional, because you are. You're delusional, and you are. 8YAL810. And the targeted individual's documentation is not the sole means of identifying exactly what's happening, who's engaged in relevant position at that time, and also what with regard to what is the greater picture with regard to what the government is doing through the people of the state, all of the people of that state, regardless of where you live in that state. So those minions that live in Northern California, I call them sleepers with regard to wherever the actual target individual is being subject to surveillance by the same government and through the exact same people of the state, the exact same group. Oh, but those in Northern California, they're subject to prosecution as well. It shall be uniform. All right, you're talking about what you're not going to slice and dice. It's the government that's doing it, and the government is doing it through the people. And you're acting while you're engaging in that pattern of conduct. Those minions in Northern California where the target individual may not have ever been, you're going to be prosecuted for that. All right, it's going on your record. You're going to be subject to the repercussions for that. All right, so like I said, it's currently 5:34 p.m. License 7XKK088. This is the entity that's engaging in ongoing stalking in every regard. And what you will not, what you should not, and what you must not ever separate are the images of the entity stalking by helicopter day in and night. All right, you're listening to the entities sounding amplified audible activity. Let me tell you something. This is Satan that is engaging in what is making that which it is engaging in louder in order to harass and terrorize. The loud sound of helicopters over me, the entity flying in circles around me by helicopter, the entity stalking and molesting and surrounding with what is directed light, the entity keeping a fake sun, because that's not the actual sun. It is the presence of Satan itself hovering over me day until evening with a light source while you are aware of the fact that you're being documented. You and every last one of your minions are going to pay for that because they're going to do time. You're going to do real time. All right. And so, like I said, these are the images that you shall not forget while I'm in the bathroom and you're listening to minions that are coming in and out of the bathroom door. They're walking in and out. All right. They're chit chatting on their phone. All right. You're going to see in the images, you got a demon walking in there with her dog. All right. She can be as blind as a bat. That has nothing to do with what is demonic activity. Has nothing to do with that. She can be a mute. All right, the entity engaging in literally what is stalking, and you shall not separate the images and the footage that I've already captured, because that's that same exact government. Those same demented, sex-offending, group-stalking demons are in the bathroom monitoring. All right, there is no separation from the two. That demonic light activity you see on the bus, those demons are in the bathroom. That is the government that's on the bus. That's the government that's engaging in threatening somebody while you're monitoring on behalf of the government. And what I said, this entity is going to learn a very hard lesson. All right, they're in the process of it right now. Satan is nothing other than defiant. But like I said, Satan's going to go kicking and dragging, but going to federal prison, that's exactly what's going to happen. You're going to federal prison. You can engage in all manner of defiance to make yourself feel big and tough and hard. You're not. You look like the coward and the sex-offending group stalker, the obsessed stalker that you are. You look like a psychopath. Your audible activity, what's coming out of your mouth versus what you're doing, which is not a mystery, and you're going to be prosecuted even for that. In the same way you would treat any other unbalanced, okay, potentially threatening weirdo that you would, clinically assess under, proper terms. But like I said, you're going to treat them in that same manner. That audible activity, that condition that they're under, the conduct that they're engaged in, you're going to use all of that against them. All of it. License 8DUE 618. Group stalking at the traffic light. Deport if they're not natural born citizens. He appears to be a Latino male. License plate 7SHF846. All right, and this is the very construct of that system, and this is what is necessary, and this is why the people, all of the people of the state, are subject to that prosecution. The government just engaging in using thousands and thousands of people who are stalking in plain sight, thinking that you may freely do so, thinking that you may freely go by, just like Omnitrans and the people of the state, 7XWP007 included, touching with directed light, while you want to engage in that demonic activity, you'll be snatched up and going to federal prison. That's very serious, and that's exactly how it's going to be treated. Very, very serious. All right, revealing the fact that you're a demon-possessed stalker, nothing to be flying a flag around. All right, that makes it suspect. All right, and that is also determinable through the very externalities, meaning you can know that by the environment that you're in, what's going on with the environment. This is no sort of subjective witch hunt. You can know it as a scientific fact. With regard to what is paying attention now to the environment, which is what I'm sounding an alarm for. Pay attention. Because the environment that you're surrounded by, the conduct of those that are around you is entirely demonic. And it's criminal conduct. It's serving criminal conduct. All right? And that's going into what are levels of public corruption. Law enforcement, the court system, local government, federal government. I've documented all of the above. Engaging in this criminal activity. Engaging in obstruction of justice. All right? So it's currently 5:38 p.m. and the entity keeping this fake sun at the same intersection where I'm standing. And the people just engaging in, again, what doing freely today in plain sight while engaging in what is harassing, and you're harassing the wrong one. You can't insult me when you're stalking me, all right? You cannot in any way insult me when you are, whatever it is that you're doing for a living while you're stalking me. I have well surpassed that. Not that there is not even any need to address what is an inferior minion. You're stalking as a people. Not just you are a stalker. You and all your demon-possessed minions are stalking me together. All right? You're pathetic. Okay? So, like I said, this is understanding everything that's coming out of their face, though. Everything that's coming out of their face. Federal law is designed to protect and to enforce the human rights, the constitutional rights, the overall sensibilities, the dignity of the person, the reputation, and the rights to exist. And this is that which Satan itself, that is using a people, literally an army of inferior, the living dead, while they're driving whatever car, living in whatever neighborhood. There are a bunch of living dead, they are the living dead, that are also in positions that they have no business in. You can hear them sounding their sirens. They're going to be dealt with. That's called criminal facilitation. 8WHN 829 is monitoring. D289 handicap. All right, that's P.O.C. And that is what is relevant with regard to understanding the ways in which federal law is going to be poised in order to address that. And the criminal conduct that the people of the state freely engage in, sitting at a traffic light, stalking with the government, not an option. You're talking about what is, well, not an option that you freely engage in without fear of what is very severe consequences. And so you're being documented engaging in that. And that is in the way that they are easily engaging in this criminal conduct, which is a threat to your life, in concert with that very corrupt government that you're hearing sounding sirens in the background. That is how seriously and how easily also you shall be documented and you go to federal prison. That is an impermissible threat. That's the significance of it. All right. And so the impermissible threat is the enhancement, an enhancement to what is already a serious federal prosecution. And you're talking about what is the entity's response to that. You want to go to federal prison for that. 8ATK075. 6PXM380, 8WHN829, 8ZAY931, DT289 handicap, 8SAB355, 8YCU791, 64070K3, SELEN heart, 6SXR138, 7WSY674, 6GZK909, 6KNU126, 6DEU435. They're monitoring with the entity that is sounding sirens. That's called criminal summoning. All right, and the entity is engaging in this conduct just like you saw the Ontario police at 3:45 in the evening. They're doing so under what is the light source at the same intersection where I'm at 9 o'clock in the morning. 5MPK342, 8TPW912, 8XTZ905, 05387G3, 6CIX472, 19763B3, 6UQB 677, KSPER8, 8FXK983, 8PSX794. 8YHG607, 226HT handicap, 7FSW842, Simply Clean Auto Detailing, 70792K1. They're monitoring. And this is a threat to the life of an American citizen by a people. They're acting as a group together. And there are a bunch of demons stalking in the path as one in concert. This is vicarious conduct. And those sirens, that's direct conduct. And they are under what is a light source that is remaining, aiming light onto me on Sierra Avenue in Fontana, California at what is 5:42 p.m. And by the way, at Village at Sierra, where this fake sun is, that is not remaining in alignment with the Fontana Lewis Library, which is what the entity is doing with this fake sun Monday through Thursday when the library stays open past 6 p.m., which is a matter of also documentation. License plate 8AVL130, 8WDT115, Heart, NEREZ. License 39328C2, 8WGF121, 8YHG607, I read that one, 8YWR771, 6YJH073, 96242R2, touching, all of them are touching. 93462R2, 67376X2, 7SQK017, 7JQX404, 8ZDG944, 7XBT618, 5LDX626, 8SZV268, 8MHN202, 6DIT554, 6RCL062. I think I read that one already. Well, in case I didn't, there you go. License. I can't read. 5ZDY845, I believe. And this is bus 1312, Omnitrans, license plate 1479377. And it's 5:43 p.m. I think I read those already. 8RQE256. Yeah. I can't really see that. 7AZN722, 6NBT960, 6BCA250, 7HWA748, 8MHN202, I think I read that one, 7HYD671, 7FDJ323, 6HNZ793, 37499L1, P359BO, 8HZG651, 8RSX865, BU75Z8 paper, 7MCB635, 45069T2 paper on a black Mustang, 6AAB814, 8YJW773, 7ZAF266. License M8A71D on a blue Dodge with no back windshield. It's an Arizona plate. African Americans driving that. License 6RIN027, 7KIB717. XAJ802, 8BSL 464, bus number 1302. I can't see their license, I'll get that in a second. 7NKZ263, I believe. 6WSR064. This is bus 1302, license 1479146, and it's 5:46 p.m. 8WIT 467, 5USZ 344, 8NMJ278, 7AEJ403, 7BJA290, 7UEL184, 8ZNM 019, I believe I can't listen to that. 8YJW773. It is currently 5:46 p.m. 1234-510, bus 1213. That's Omnitrans. Crossing path. License plate 7B TV 786. 6NET 724, 7JWE 131, 6XRW 663, 8SBA 385, 8K10881, 8ZJU 003, 5YHM 607, 8TWJ 474, 8WTB 970, 8REL 432, I believe, 7TFF 781, 6WUU 098, 8FRK 177, 8VWY 253, 8WYU 092, 8VFB 202, 8XZX 481, 8HDC 737, 8XES 332, LRDVLMT, 8JAH 070, 70215H2, 8RIA 119, I believe, 8TDH 269, C8, I can't see that one, 22BASRA, I believe, 7JVN 671, 8RSL 464, 8MMW 237. Bus 2361, license 1545945, and that is Route 61. It's currently 5:48 p.m. (92961H2) 8BNK 834, 7RZU 182. 7U6 7668. 8FJV 800, 8PDJ098, 5GYW, I can't say that one, 8HVW 568, and 8R15139, 6TZT 870 at 612 p.m. 8NTN 739, 8TJH 509, 8RBU 735, 7J50012. This is audible activity by a minion that's sitting at the last row of the bus, using his communication device as facilitation while the demons are driving by on the bus. They're monitoring. All right, and engaging in it by just playing your phone on speakerphone, which is audible activity and direct the light. It is 6:17 p.m. and this minion is sitting behind me on the bus. And that's just one method. This is P.O.C. though. 8VSL095. 7PNP 566. 8ZKR062, 5LST882, 6AFV721, 7NCP511, 8ZOW584, 7TFC430. 14217X2 and 6YDZ479 12749Z2 8NLD904 BF81Z51 paper. That is license 33450H3 8ZRJ740
Single fathers, single mothers, or two-parent households with
8YDM829 8AWZ650 7GES601 USMCENG 8TPA025 8DIV477 6NBJ594 8RBS623 8UCW650 4WBY328 6CPL389 8G 8G66366 8RCK211 8KKC708 8CTE796 7NLM943 6TIM612 7EHJ441 DLNDMUM CC22T09 paper JB Hunt crossing path 82190 6K25 oh I can't see that you check that 6K24594 6K24594 yeah 1208316 4SQE660 that looks like that is X208136 23450V2 5FTP 062 I believe. Can't really see that on next thing. That's correction 2435 OV2 8FGW067. Alrighty, it is currently 7:05 p.m. Getting off at Lemon and Holt. And this is license plate again 1545945 bus 2361. Alrighty, it is currently 7:06 p.m. The entity flying over by aircraft 40627K3. The entity flying over by aircraft as I get off of the Omnitrans bus, and all of the third parties that are sitting on the bus, they're monitoring as well. The entity maintaining presence around while I'm sitting at the back on surveillance cameras. Again, that's bus number 2361, license 1545945, and that's driven by a Latino male. The entity amplifies plane activity as I'm getting off of the bus. And you'll also see at what is 7:06 p.m. on the surveillance cameras of Omnitrans is what I'm referencing is what you'll see. This is supplemental documentation. I'm taking pictures of the third parties that are on the bus, and that's operation of my phone. So you'll see on the surveillance cameras the Asian female who I took close-up images of. She got on the bus at Ontario Mills. She's group stalking, and she's doing so in concert with the state, in concert with the people of the state on Omnitrans, okay, on the bus. And she walks up to the front of the bus, and the bus driver opens and closes the door. This is activity creation. They're monitoring while I'm taking pictures of them, and does so with the bus driver, and you'll see that on surveillance cameras. It's currently 7:08 p.m. They are now crossing paths. And again, that's license 1545945, bus 2361. License plate 00902Y1, 88PS 216, 36312E3, 8ZDB 418, 8XMF 205, 8XVX 398, 7JUJ 451, 6GLS 563, 7FVS 601, 8JPD 545, 4AMK 259, 8KSY 929, 8ZKN 345, and the entity is hovering by aircraft, and this looks like Southwest Airlines, flying right over the 3-star janitorial at the B&G Plaza. There are no airplanes taking off right here. This is the entity hovering, 5PDE 995, and does so south of this location when I'm at the museum. That's what it's doing over me at the museum, and that is Southwest Airlines. You can hear that. That's amplified audible activity of a third party engaging in what is, first of all, this is demonic activity, and second of all, it's criminal monitoring, and they are engaging in what is conduct as though they're taking off over the B&G Plaza, and that's relative to where I'm at, because the entity is doing the exact same thing over the south side of the Ontario Museum while I'm at that location, as though they're taking off over the museum. This is the same thing they're doing over the, again, when I'm sleeping in the vehicle outside of 630 North Fern, as though they're taking off over Fern Avenue, as though they're taking off at the intersection of Vine and G Street when I was sleeping in my vehicle there before this entity engaged in theft of property by entity. The entity engaging in what is taking off as though it's a plane is taking off over there at that intersection. It's called group stalking, hovering, stalking in an airplane, and creating amplified audible activity. All right, that audible activity is also that which has the uncanny ability to occur with simultaneity to what it is that I'm doing while a plane just comes out of the blue. This is demonic activity, and that is the ongoing pattern of conduct. It is currently in that Southwest Airlines, which I did take an image of while they're hovering over the B&G Plaza, hovering over the 3-star janitorial, hovering over the 150 East Hole building. And it's currently 7:10 p.m. This is P.O.C. It's 9:47 p.m. and the entity, with simultaneity to what it is that I publish on the internet about them, engaging in repeating that criminal pattern of conduct, which is how demons and a government that's engaging in what is criminal surveillance monitoring engages in terrorism and harassment as an entity. So the Ontario Fire Department, as I published onto my website, I did document them specifically engaging in the pattern of conduct, and what it is they're engaging in criminal summoning. And they repeat that, sounding their fire, these are demons that are using a fire truck, sounding sirens, to create audible activity while they are stalking me in relevant position. That's what they are doing while they are stalking in relevant position. Their fire department is in relevant position to where I'm at the museum, and it's amplified audible activity sounding of the Ontario Fire Department sirens at 9:47 p.m., moments after I completed updating my website, and including the Ontario Fire Department, who less than 20 minutes ago engaged in criminal summoning earlier. That's why I added them, and that is on my website right now. I want to document what is harassment and terrorism pursuant to what is criminal monitoring. It's demonic activity by the Ontario Fire Department. It's criminal facilitation. All right, and the entity is flying over me at the museum at the same time that the demons of the Ontario Fire Department repeat the engagement in what is criminal summoning, a federal crime, while they are monitoring my documentation, an impermissible threat, and an additional federal crime. And that's at what is 9:48 p.m. And as you saw, Southwest Airlines, the people of the state, stalking by commercial airline planes flying over me on this side of the museum in directed light, stalking and doing so in concert with the Ontario Fire Department. It's currently 9:48 p.m. and this is P.O.C.